Be cool, be kind, be classy. The cupcakes so sweet and sexy. Have fun and enjoy the journey. Or just have a good attorney. No big whoop, no biggie. She lives near New York City. And not just a YouTube show. When you know, you better grab a straw. Learn about the law. It's cool here in the shade. Sipping motions of lemonade. Cool heads will prevail, kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Oh, Melanie Little is going live. Oh no, where is Melanie? Follow the island's melody. There's a concert within reach. No surprise, she's at Jones Beach. She heard some music far away. Captain Jack Sack Harbor Bay. He sings and his piano plays. Not all sounds are waterways. Speaking Yiddish and Latin, it's not just for Manhattan. It's for Goethe and Machegas. Ridiculous that insanus. Oy vey, Marcus. Proset, that's for schmucks. Be cool, be kind, be classy. My cupcakes are sweet and sassy. And not just a YouTube show. When you know. Cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Melanie Little is going live.
Ruined my whole cold open. Live from New York. It's Saturday. Well, I know what I'm usually doing at Saturday night at 9 p.m., but since our regularly scheduled programming will not be in session tonight, I thought I got nothing to do. Why don't I hang out with you? I'm home tonight, so why don't we hang out at 9 o'clock Eastern? How's everybody doing? Especially since all my hockey teams are playing tomorrow. So, yep. Bruins play tomorrow at 2. Avalanche at 4:30. Avalanche are up 3-0. Hopefully the Avalanche will sweep. And hopefully Boston will win one tomorrow. That'd be great. Oh, thanks, Charissa, for gifting 5 memberships. You're awesome. I don't know what we're going to talk about tonight. Let's go Bruins. Thanks, Charissa. That was really sweet of you. Let's go Bruins. You're going to the game tomorrow. It's your birthday tomorrow. Inverted sneaker. I was going to go to the game tomorrow. I thought about it. If you know where the arena that they play at and you're familiar, are the club seats worth it? I was thinking about actually going to the game tomorrow, but I'm here, so so I'm not there. But if they move on into the next bracket, and I would like to come to a game, at least one, because there's nothing like a hockey game in person, right? Have fun, Crime Genie. Emily said, I just saw that and I already have my tinfoil hat on, because how does someone get that into the correspondence center? I don't even know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. Rabbit hole I fell into that I cannot get out of. The Mike Vrabel and Diana Russini rabbit hole. I am deep in that rabbit hole as if my life depends on it. That's how deep I am. Is anybody else in that rabbit hole? Has anybody else dug up every single video they could find of those two from lately and from 6 years ago? Oh I what a mess that is, huh? Ari says club seats are very good, pricey but good. Like, is there amenities with it? Like, I think you get waitress service, and there's like some restaurants and stuff that you can go to. Master Peak was in the house. Thank you, Shannon Von Mort. Let me tell you something else I fell into yesterday. All 4 episodes of the new Peacock series on the Gilgo Beach killer, Rex Heuermann from Massapequa. Was he from Massapequa Park? That is wild. I want to talk about that. Hopefully some of you watched it, because episode 4 was really the only episode that I watched that I didn't. There was all new information. So much new information in episode 4 of I don't forget what they're even calling it, Gilgo Beach Killer. It is the Peacock series that Asa Ellerup, Rex Heuermann's ex-wife, did with Peacock. They were following her around the entire time almost since the day that he got arrested. And the 4th episode was so good. So interesting. So I'm going to spoil it for you because I just can't hold it in. But we'll get back to that. Somebody said that Vrabel's wife. I don't know anything that's happening in the correspondence dinner. I don't do politics. I don't know. So it's not my thing. I just don't do it. Rex's opinion of himself, yes, is hyperinflated. Oh boy. Yes. What? There's a shoot. What are you talking about? I can't go to breaking news when I already have like the whole entire show planned. First of all, can we get the hell out of Massachusetts? No, we can't. No. Why should we get out of Massachusetts? There was a shooting at a UMass hotel by some famous chef. Not a shooting. I think he beat his wife to death in the hotel room. Then there's 2 children that were found dead, 6 and 7 in Wellesley. And there was just an arrest on that. There's something else that somebody just sent me. I think it was Charissa, about a sheriff's deputy that was just arrested in Suffolk County. All right, it's covered. I don't want to cover. I'm not covering it. I can't. I already have a whole lot of things to turn on Fox. People are saying turn on Fox. I can't turn on Fox. I'm on the air. I'm on the air. Maybe somebody could just bullet point it for me. Hold on. Just hold on a minute. At least I know what you're talking about. Okay, so what is it? I don't know. I have no idea. If somebody can fill me in or not. I don't. Scott, you know? All right, go Pens is what I say. Scott, who are you rooting for in this one? Pittsburgh, Philly. I'm rooting for the Pens. Yeah, I don't do politics on my show anyway. I hate to be like the last person to know anything. Oh, there was a suspect dead after a shooting. Thank you, Scott. Suspect is dead after a shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Okay. So there you go. Secret Service. U.S. Secret Security shot dead a person who opened fire during the White House Correspondents Association dinner in Washington tonight. Dinner was being served at the annual gathering of the press when shots could be heard before President Trump was evacuated by security. It's developing. That's all we know. No sign of injuries. That's it. So as much as I'm going to say on it. Thank you, Scott, for at least telling me what I'm missing. All right. Shooter's dead. Secret Service confirmed. Love you guys, but I'm not going there tonight. I'm not going there. You hate Sid Crosby too? I know we all hate Sid Crosby, don't we? But I'm rooting for the Pens. All right. But I'm also rooting for the Bruins and the Avalanche. And I'm getting all the gear and I have all the hats, and that's what we're gonna do. So the Vrabel thing, I am invested in the Mike Vrabel and Diana Russini thing, and now all of a sudden he needs to focus on his family. Okay. So there's that. I watched the 4-episode series on the Long Island serial killer. Wild information in episode 4, which we can talk about. Something that just makes me very happy to watch is The Dancing Weatherman. I was going to show you the Dancing Weatherman video that I love. The horrific thing that happened in Wellesley with the 2 kids, the UMass Amherst hotel murder. There was a Lindsay Clancy hearing that we did not watch on Thursday because unexpectedly the Karen Reed Proctor phone hearing came up. But guess what? Kevin Reddington represents Lindsay Clancy. He wants Michael Proctor's phone extraction too. That came up at that hearing. So that was pretty interesting. And if you'd like, you can rent the house that David may or may not have taken Celeste's life in, because that house is back up for rent. It seems to me that these murder houses just come on the market and people either don't know about it or they just put them up and hope nobody's going to ask. It's in the Hollywood Hills. It's $23,950 a month. And as you know, that's my corn is Zillow. So I love looking at houses on Zillow. Carrie's been here for 6 months and she says, happy anniversary. Love you bunches too. Carrie, I love you bunches. There's also been, many people have sent me this massive FOIA dump on Brian Tully's emails and a bunch of stuff on Karen Reed. The files are so large that it's like impossible for me to even look at them without downloading them. And I'm really skeptical about downloading anything, even though the people that have sent them to me have sent them in a format that they have downloaded and then sent it to me. And so I'm just, unless there's something specific that has come out that is, new or exciting that you want to talk about, you could let me know. But so far I haven't seen anything that's like totally shocking or that I didn't already know about it. How about you? Have you? Yeah, I don't care about people who platform people who hate me. So say goodbye to that one. Okay, let's take a look at the motivational quote of the day. Motivational quote of the day today is Khalil Gibran. Is it Gibran or Gibran? Today's Saturday, April 25th, 2026. And today's motivational quote of the day: generosity is giving more than you can, and pride is taking less than you need. That's not good. That's so good. Generosity is giving more than you can, and pride is taking less than you need. Here's your motivational quote of the day, in case you needed it. In case you needed it. Focus, camera, focus. I mean, Harry Styles is allegedly engaged to Zoe Kravitz. One of my daughters is in mourning. Doesn't want to believe that it's true. I don't know if it's true or not. And there's a whole thing about Justin Bieber at Coachella with Billie Eilish. That was pretty interesting too. But I don't know if that's our demographic here. But I found that to be really cool. Billie Eilish went up on stage with Justin Bieber at Coachella. And she, when she was growing up, had posters of Justin Bieber on her wall. It was her fangirl moment. And to watch Billie Eilish like trying to get up there and crying was just Lenny Kravitz's daughter. Yes. And isn't her mother Lisa Bonet? Did it make you cry too? Was it just me? I was like, oh, she's getting to spend her evening at Coachella with, and she was so humble. I loved it. I loved it. Very exciting. Right? You never know what's going to happen. It's Melanie After Dark. You never know what's going to happen. Oh, my kids had tickets to Billie Eilish. They were so excited. And then the whole world shut down. And that show got canceled, and they will never let me forget it. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault the world shut down in 2020. They're still mad about it. They're still really mad about it. So there's that. All right. We got to pull an empowerment card too, because we do that too. Here's what we do. We do that too. Oh, here's California's in the house. I love that. It's early for you guys. It's only 6:15. Thanks for tuning in, Lori. All right, let's do an empowerment card too. All right. If I had tarot cards, I'd read those as well, because not enough sage. Oh, did you see Rex Sherman's daughter with the sage in the basement in episode 4? I'm thinking, girl, not enough sage in the world to burn away the evil in that basement. Whew. All right. My only competitor is the person I was yesterday. Oh, who needed that empowerment card today? My only competitor is the person I was yesterday. I love that. Reach your personal best every day. Let's see. Yeah, and the therapist is like, right. Jenna's like, yeah. And the therapist was like, what you doing with that sage? Very interesting. A therapist came in and met with Rex and Asa and Victoria. And it was very, very interesting. Right? Oh, there's a lot of my California people here. I love that, Walter. Woot, woot. Billie Eilish has a concert movie coming up directed by James Cameron. I just saw the teaser for it. Did you see? Oh, when you saw the Michael Jackson movie? Was it good, Anita? Anita Sandwich. Wasn't that a great name? Such a great name. Saucy likes the cards. Thank you. Thank you for liking it. Sunflower Day is here for 22 months. Says I love Saturday After Dark with Melanie. Thanks. I mean, I don't know what we're going to talk about. We can talk about whatever you want. I'm kind of like, I kind of like, I mean, no offense to anybody, but like, I'm kind of like I need to take a break from like the Karen Reed and Turtle Boy saga for now. And I want to talk about anything else. And maybe like some stuff that's actually funny. You saw Michael last night. It was much better than I expected. This is very, very heavy, the stuff that we talk about every single day. And I'm kind of like, I'm at my like breaking point of like just like horror. Yeah, Emily's just happy to be here. See? Like, let me show you something that makes me happy. This makes me really happy. I can't play the music on this, but you're gonna have to just imagine what the music is. I don't even really know what the music is because it's not a song that I'm familiar with. There's a guy on YouTube and I love him, and his name is Nick Koser, and he's a weatherman. He's called the Dancing Weatherman. Do you guys know him? Hold on. And he does like all of these dancing videos. Let's see if I can make this bigger for you. I just have to make a dinged for the music. How do I turn off the sound on this? All right, we can play him with no sound and we'll be fine. Do you know the dance? Does anybody know Nick Koser, K-O-S-I-R, the Dancing Weatherman? Well, you're going to learn about him tonight because I love him so much. And yep, he's on TikTok too. And he goes into Times Square and he does these dances in Times Square with the whole setup. And I like this one because he's got other people like joining in on the dance. Okay, so here we go. Here's the Dancing Weatherman, my favorite, Nick Koser. And just like imagine the song that's on, which I don't really know. And then like, look, these other guys are going to join in and dance. I love this so much. This just makes me happy. Like I could watch this on loop all day. Just like I could watch the babies laughing all day on loop. Isn't that awesome? He's in the middle. That's him. He's the Dancing Weatherman. He's Nick Koser. I think I first fell into him when I was in my oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, we both, oh yes, we both reach for the gun. And so I watched every single video I could find of people doing that TikTok dance. Oh, it's not AI, baby. That is not AI. These guys are doing it for real. And he does it for real. And it's no joke. This is like real life. I don't even know where he's a weatherman. Let's we'll look at some more of his feed. So here's his name is official. Oops. Nick, N-I-C-K, K-O-S-I-R. And let's go to his page for a minute. I could just watch him dancing all day. Then he goes into like Times Square. And in Times Square, there's like a setup where you can go and do the TikTok dances. And here it is. He just goes there and he collabs with people. Right. So go check him out. I like him a lot. He's only done one live stream. His live stream was so interesting because it was about him getting sober. And I thought that was so interesting. Love him. He's a New York weatherman. He's not on any of our New York stations. I mean, he's in New York, but unless he recently transferred to New York, I'm not really sure. But like, and then they'll get a whole bunch of people together and they all do it together. I love it. It's like what do they call that? Like a flash mob. One of my favorite scenes on television ever. And tell me if you know this scene from The Affair. Who watched The Affair? It was on, I think, Showtime. It was the scene at Whitney's wedding. It was the finale of the whole entire series, the series finale of The Affair. And it was Whitney's wedding. And they did a flash mob that Noah, her dad, had choreographed and rehearsed with them. And he wasn't even invited to her wedding. And it was the Water Boys, Hole of the Moon. And they did this flash mob for Whitney. And it was so good. I love that. Is one of my favorite television scenes of all time. And like he'll just break into dance in the middle of Times Square. It's amazing. Oh, look, he does a Fate of Ophelia. That's really good too. I love him. I think he's so cute. He's from Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, that's where he is, right? But he's in New York a lot, I guess. Yes. Right? Because he's always in Times Square doing this. He was in North Carolina. went viral, and then New York snatched him up. But what station is he with? Because I watch all the New York stations for weather, and I don't know. So that's my guy. That's my guy. I watch him when I need a little something lighter to watch, because I've had just about enough of the rest of it for now, anyway. He's on Fox. Fox like 5 or Fox like, huh? I don't know. All right, well that's cool. Oh, you love that show, The Affair? Well, it was in the season finale. It was the season finale. It was Whitney's wedding. Her wedding was in Montauk, and like the family estate, and it was outside. And Helen was there. And then at the end, the end was really interesting because it aged Noah up like 20 years or something. Oh, I cried just thinking about that finale. I love it so much. I love it so much. Here's what else I have going on here. Are you guys, am I the only one out here in the interwebs following the Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini debacle? I mean, is anybody interested in talking about that? Does anybody have any idea what I'm talking about? I fell into the rabbit hole but quick. And I found like this old, like, here's a video just from February. Like, oh, it's so bizarre. Some people are like, you shouldn't talk about it. We shouldn't talk about it. I'm like, no, I think we should talk about it. But don't be a jerk. Yeah, it's crazy. So Mike Vrabel is the head coach for the Patriots, and he got caught allegedly having an affair with this woman who's like an NFL reporter. Name's Diana Rossini, and I think people were surmising that it just started like recently, and then some video came out from 6 years ago, or somebody published some pictures of them like cozying up in a bar like 6 years ago. And then they're doing the math on it. And she had a kid like right around that time. He was already married, and she got married 6 months after these photos were taken with Vrabel. And then she named her child Mike or Michael, and people are doing the math on it. And then it turns out that she had been reporting on him at the time, all the way back then, like 6 years ago. And so it's crazy to me. Let me see what I have for you anyway. Hold on. Because I did bookmark a lot of stuff. I just fell into the whole rabbit hole. And I got all the old videos, and I'm like, this is just crazy. Oh, here's another thing that I found. Here's a hot take. Well, let's just pivot over to Kelsey Fitzsimmons for a minute, okay? Remember how everyone got fired from Court TV recently? Remember how everyone got fired from Court TV? And nobody has a job except for Vinny Politan. He happens to be an investor in Court TV. And one other guy like Ted Rollins. Vinny Politan happens to be an investor in Court TV. And so when Dan Abrams bought Law and Crime bought Court TV, it's all now one company, and everyone got fired except Vinny and Ted Rollins. So I don't know. Maybe we can figure out why. Here's Judge Ashley. Do you remember Judge Ashley from Court TV? Okay. The problem that I have right now with Law and Crime and Court TV is that they're both streaming the same 2 trials at the same time. Like, you're 2 different companies now. Maybe Court TV could stream 2 trials and Law and Crime could stream 2 different trials, and then you could give your audience like a choice. Like, there are more than just 2 trials that are happening in the United States of as such America right now that maybe some people might want to watch. Maybe why split your audience? It's so stupid. All right, you love Judge Ashley? Well, here's what she has to say about Kelsey Fitzsimmons. So don't say I didn't warn you. And this was just like, she posted this yesterday. Okay, listen.
Everyone's talking. Everybody has an opinion, but let's talk facts.
Let's talk facts, she says. Let's talk facts. Listen, she wants to talk facts. I mean, let's hear the facts.
Ashley here, 60 seconds or less. Kelsey Fitzsimmons, acquitted of attempted murder when she fired a weapon at another officer.
What? She was not acquitted of attempted murder. She was not even charged with attempted murder. My eye is starting to twitch. The grand jury did not indict her on attempted murder. It was assault, and she absolutely 100% did not fire her gun at a fellow officer. Okay, you might have missed it, so I'm going to play that for you again because she's only given us 60 seconds of her time. Okay, here you go.
Everyone's talking. Everybody has an opinion, but let's talk facts. Judge Ashley here, 60 seconds or less. Kelsey Fitzsimmons, acquitted of attempted murder when
No.
she fired a weapon at another officer.
No, she didn't.
Was a fellow officer off duty. She was shot and in the hospital. She's now been acquitted. But as a result of all of that, she was in jail for approximately 9 months.
No, she was not in jail for 9 months. No, she was in the hospital for 53 days. Then after that, she was in jail. She was without her baby for 9 months and counting and continuing.
Did not have her baby with her. The baby lived with the father. She's been acquitted. She's out of jail. There's a restraining order. There's a custody hearing scheduled. She still doesn't have her child. The child is still with the father who was engaged to her at the time. Who do you think should have custody of this child? Here's my prediction. I think
that's your biggest question. Who do you think should have custody of the child? You just got everything in the first 30 seconds wrong.
Ultimately, it will be some type of 50-50 split. There will be a primary physical custodian who makes final decisions, but I think that the custody of this baby will end up basically split between the two parents. We'll have to stay tuned. I don't know that's going to happen. That's my opinion. Let me know your thoughts.
Well, you can go let her know your thoughts if you want. That's on the twit-twat, as Baker would say. But what are we doing?
Everyone's talking.
Everyone's talking, yeah. But at least everyone who's talking pretty much has the facts on it. I don't know. That was wild. What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't know. That was her own. That was her own tweet. She posted it herself. I mean, it wasn't like someone else posted it. It's on Ashley Wilcott, and she's got a blue check mark next to her name. I don't know. But let's listen to. All right, we got Vrabel's apology, or should we go back to the? Oh, back in 2024, there's some pictures of them at a casino, and then there's some Diana Rossini kind of like slagging off her husband a couple of years ago, 2021, and. Let's start here.
I'm sure the way you do. Your wife, Jen, is.
I mean, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. Russini was asking him questions, so she used to like report on Mike Vrabel about his wife. Somebody said Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini had have a one-way ticket to hell. All right, so here's she's doing an old interview with Vrabel. She's a reporter, an NFL reporter. I don't even remember which publication she reported for. If you know, you can let me know. But here's a clip from an interview, and this starts off with Vrabel and his wife, and it's Diana Rossini asking Vrabel about his wife. Okay, here we go.
Your wife, Jen, is a superb athlete.
I would say used to be.
Maybe used to be, but she still got it in her, I'm sure, the way you do.
He says, I would say she used to be a superb athlete. Yeah, with the Atlantic, right, Larry? That's what I thought too. Kendra says her journalistic integrity is compromised at the very least. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Moving on.
Which sport do you think Jen could beat you at now?
Ping pong.
Ping pong.
Ping pong.
Have you ever done it with her?
I get too aggressive.
Yeah, I
can't. And after it's two volleys, I just try to.
Your wife, Jen, is a superb athlete.
I would say used to be.
Okay, that's on a loop. There's longer videos, but let's just to give you a little taste about what we're talking about. I have second and third hand embarrassment right now for this woman. Where are all my? I had so many videos on this. Where did I put them all? Somebody said Diana Rossini has been dissing her husband for years. In 2021,
photos of Diana.
Here's some video. I mean, this is just beyond. This one's only 44 seconds. This one's going around a lot.
I'm married to someone average. I don't post a lot about them. If I was married to someone beautiful, I'd overpost too.
Now, this doesn't seem nice. We have put together photos of Diana's husband here for everyone to see so you can make some amends on that.
I'm married to someone average. She's been slagging off her husband for years on television.
Television.
We're average together. And you know what the worst part is? He sent me a text during that segment, not watching because he actually works for a living. And he said, "Good luck today. Be great on Get Up." So the guy's got a heart of gold, and here I am on national TV killing him. Look, we're average together, but he makes me above average because he married me. So I am so sorry. I need to really stop killing my husband on television. I'm going to be divorced by Christmas.
Well, and then somebody posted December 18th of 2020, "You need a boyfriend, LOL." And she responds by saying, "I tell my husband that all the time. He is good looking. There's nothing wrong with him." All right. So that's from 2020 and 2021. And then TMZ has an exclusive, and this is a picture of them in a casino in 2024. Nice flannel. And then here's some photos that just surfaced from 6 years ago. They were in some hole in the wall basement bar with no windows. I want to know where these pictures came from. Where did these pictures come from? Who had these pictures? Yeah, Casey Paralegal says, "Big yikes. Tomorrow's my 13-year anniversary, and I'm so glad I stopped posting on social media. All the people who post about how great their marriage is are always the next people to get divorced. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Nobody needs like an invitation into your marriage like this." And so this is gross too. So that was in 2020. Those pictures of them kissing in the bar in 2020, March of 2020. Then it goes on to say that Diana Russini has a son named Michael, who was born in August of 2021. And 2021, she posted this. "Keep looking at my almost 4-day-old son, Michael, while trying to figure out who are the best Michaels to ever play and coach in the NFL." And here's the thing too, is that she's been posting like these breadcrumbs for like the last 6 years, right? She's been posting these breadcrumbs for like the last 6 years. Like, did she want to get caught? Did she want him to get caught? Did she want him to be in trouble? And that this comes out right before the NFL draft. Okay, here's today's the 25th. So this was just Thursday. And here's his he arrives. I guess this was at the draft, and makes an excuse for why he's got to leave. So here's his speech that he gave to the press. Check out what he's wearing on his feet with no socks, and it's like a lavender suit. Here we go.
Mike will give remarks, and then we'll take 3 or 4. So far away. Appreciate it. Again, just want to reiterate the gratitude that I had the other day to that you guys have shown in a personal and private matter. You know, I want to address the news regarding my current situation. I understand that there are questions. I take accountability for my actions and the actions that caused a distraction to the people that I care most about.
Distraction.
My family, this football team, the organization, and our fans. My previous actions don't meet the standard that I hold myself to. They don't. And what I believe is best for the two most important things in my life, my family and this football team, is for us to take the necessary steps to work together and to give them what I told them I'd give them, which is the best version of me. And that's what we're going to do. And that's going to start, that has started, that'll continue this weekend, and it'll continue for however long it takes for me to give them and to complete that promise of giving them the best version of me possible. And that's what's going to happen, and that's what's been happening. I'm grateful for Robert and Jonathan.
Yes, that is Tristan Morris's suit in a much bigger size.
For their support. I'm thankful for the coaches and their support. Most especially, I'm thankful for the players. They're the ones that allow us to win games. They're the ones that allow us to coach them. And I appreciate their support. We got a lot of great men in there, and I appreciate each and every one of them. Like I told you before, my priorities are my family and this football team, and in that order. And there's a balance there that I am going to create. And my family needs me this weekend, and that's where I'll be. But I'm confident in the people that we have.
My family needs me this weekend. My family needs me this weekend.
Thankful for Elliot and his staff that have prepared us for this night, for this weekend. I ask that somehow you can allow those players that we bring onto this football team, allow them the excitement and joy of recognizing a dream and starting a journey. I hope that you can do that. And again, I'm focused on this team moving forward, and out of respect to my family, I won't have any more comments or answers to touch on. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
To touch on. Okay, so some people are saying, what is this? I haven't seen anything about this before. I'm sorry, that was the volume on that was a little bit low. So let's go to One Story Broke, which was on or about April 7th. And this was page 6 from the New York Post. It was an exclusive at the time for the New York Post. New England's Patriot Mike Vrabel and top New York Times NFL reporter Diana Russini hold hands and hug at a luxury resort. So some people are saying maybe it was a PI that was following them. Exclusive photos obtained by Page 6 appear to show the New England Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel and the New York Times top NFL reporter holding hands and hugging at a luxurious hotel. Well, I did not know she was with the New York Times. She used to be with the Atlantic, right? Or the Athletic. Vrabel and Diana Russini, a former anchor on ESPN's flagship Sports Center, who now holds the official title of Senior NFL Insider at the Gray Ladies sports publication, The Athletic, were spotted 2 weekends ago at the Ambiente in Sedona, Arizona, a boutique resort set against the breathtaking Brins Mesa mountain range. And somebody got some pictures. Top New York Times NFL reporter Diana Russini and New England Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel were snapped on what appears to be the roof of a private bungalow at the Ambiente Resort in Sedona, Arizona, which is beautiful because look, there's the Red Rocks. Spies said that Vrabel and Russini appeared to be visiting the hotel without anyone else in their group. Didn't she come out and say it was a girls' trip? I think she did. She said it was a girls' trip. A Page 6 spy tells us that the pair, both married to other people, had breakfast on the patio of the hotel restaurant around 10:30 a.m. Saturday March 28th before spending a leisurely hour or so together at the pool and lounging side by side in a hot tub. They were in the hot tub. It's one of my favorite Saturday Night Live skits with Rachel Dratch and Will Ferrell. Oh my God. Will Ferrell was at the Kings game the other night. Our spy spotted Vrabel and Russini again that evening on the private rooftop of one of the hotel's bungalows, which features glass walls offering a panoramic view of the state's famed Red Rock formations. Roofs are only accessible from the two-person bungalows, which cost up to $2,160 a month. A night. Photos show the two hugging at sunset and weaving their fingers together as they stand face to face. The spy said that they saw the pair briefly dance together. Both Russini and Vrabel insist they were there with friends who say they simply weren't visible in the pictures. A source close to Russini says she was staying at the hotel during a hiking trip with two female pals. One of Vrabel's friends told Page Six that they and the coach drove up to Sedona for the day with another pal and that they all drove back to their own hotel some 2 hours away after hanging out with Russini and her gang. Or was it just a cover? I mean, whose career is going to be ruined? Probably hers and not his, right? She's probably going to get to have no career left, and he's probably going to just, skate. And as for the person who said, who cares? I do. If you don't like it, move along. Thank you. Because guess what? It's the woman that's going to get the brunt of the backlash here. She's resigned. Her career is over. And he's not going to, right? Nothing's going to happen to him. And it's a problem. That's like an ethical problem for a journalist to do that. To be having an affair with a guy you're supposed to be fairly reporting on, it's completely unethical. Here's some pictures in the hotel pool. So somebody was after it. And somebody said in the comments here, I think it was Larry, said, hold on. Thought I started. Larry said, it may have been one wild rumor that I heard was the female owner of the Titans could possibly be behind this. I don't know. We're told Russini here by the hotel pool and Vrabel left the area separately. Vrabel seemed in an easygoing mood, according to fellow guests. But 3 other eyewitnesses told us that they did not see anyone else with Vrabel 50. He's only 50? And Russini, 43. Asked if the Pats coach visited the hotel with a group of friends. One eyewitness said, no, he was with a girl. And our sequence of photographs is taken at various points during the day, show only Vrabel and Russini. Vrabel attended a scouting event at Arizona State University in Tempe on Friday, March 27th, before traveling 125 miles to the Ambiente. The adults-only Ambiente prides itself on being a romantic getaway, boasting on its website about the 158 proposals that took place and the thousands of anniversaries and honeymoons that have been celebrated at the hotel. After being seen with Russini, Vrabel headed to the Biltmore Hotel in Phoenix for a meeting of the NFL Competition Committee, a group of owners and coaches who oversee the game's rulebook. And here's the problem. Here's her wedding picture. She's been married to Shake Shack executive Kevin Goldschmidt since 2020. She got married 6 months after those pictures in the bar were taken. He's been married for a very long time, since 1999. And here's a picture of them posing with Patriots owner Robert Kraft and his wife. Russini was among the many NFL reporters at the Biltmore on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of last week when media had access to owners, executives, and coaches. On Thursday, The Athletic published a dispatch about the Biltmore meetings written by Russini and Jacob Robinson. Oh, really? Before anybody found out, I guess. Maybe somebody had it out for them. Russini has been one of the more prominent football reporters in the country for more than a decade and routinely covers the Patriots as part of the gig. She joined SportsCenter in 2015 and has appeared on ESPN's popular NFL Countdown and NFL Live shows. And here she is at the Fanatics Super Bowl party in February. She's host of the podcast Scoop City Inside the NFL. She was born in the Bronx and now lives in New Jersey. In 2023, she joined The Athletic, the once independent site that was acquired by the Times and now provides the paper's sports coverage. Russini hosted Scoop City Inside the NFL podcast. And that's a literal title, Inside the NFL. But I'll be here all week. Vrabel, who played 8 seasons as a linebacker for the Patriots, took over as the team's top coach in January 2025 and stunned the league by taking the team to the Super Bowl this year. That's right. They're not going to get rid of him, right? The 6-time Super Bowl winning Patriots are ranked by Forbes as the 4th most valuable team in the NFL, worth around $9 billion with an annual revenue of $762 million. Vrabel is believed to earn around $15 million a year. He and Russini go way back. Covering the Tennessee Titans was Russini's first NFL beat at ESPN. She was the network's boots on the ground in Nashville by the time Vrabel came in as head coach in 2018. She was ESPN's Tennessee Titans beat reporter, and he was the head coach. Back in 2018, she began covering Vrabel's career closely, it says. You can always count on the New York Post for a good pun. They went from being a team nobody thought about to Mike got them playing really well, she said, of the 2018 Titans on the Patriots Unfiltered podcast in February. And then, of course, they went to the AFC Championship game in 2020. In 2015, Russini weathered a controversy when the wife of the Washington Commanders, then the Redskins GM, Scott McCloughan, publicly accused them of having an affair. Oh, so in 2015, she was accused of having an affair with the GM of the Redskins? That's interesting. After the reporter broke a story about Kirk Cousins replacing Robert Griffin III as the Redskins starting quarterback, Jessica, am I pronouncing it right? McCloughan, MLCLOUGHAN, reportedly wrote on Twitter, I'm pretty sure this info is coming from my husband to his new side chick, Diana. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, no, she didn't. The wife. Here she was at the 2019 ESPY Awards. She has said that leaving ESPN was a difficult decision. Jessica deleted the tweet and her account and apologized to Russini. I deeply apologize for the disparaging remarks about an ESPN reporter on my personal Twitter account. The comment was unfounded and inappropriate, and I have the utmost respect for both the reporter at ESPN, she wrote at the time. Oops. I think somebody forced her to do that. I regret that my actions have brought undeserved negative attention to the Redskins organization and its leadership. My comments in no way reflect the opinions or attitudes of the organization, and I regret that my behavior has in any way negatively impacted the team and its loyal fan base. ESPN also defended its reporter in a statement saying, Diana is an excellent reporter who should never have to be subjected to such vulgar comments. We are obviously extremely disappointed by today's developments. It appears that after leaving their trip, Vrabel traveled to Phoenix for the NFL annual meeting where he spoke with reporters. He's wearing one of those untuck it shirts. He should tuck it. The expectations for Russini have been sky high since she joined the Atlantic. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, do you think somebody's trying to take her down and they set her up? But how could they have set her up if this has really been going on since 2020? It gets a little bit more into their personal life, but that was on April 7th. And then these new pictures surfaced. So everyone thought maybe this was like a relatively new thing. But then what had happened was somebody, of course, it always happens. Once this thing comes out, then people come out of the woodwork with these old photos. And here's the story that just broke on the 2 days ago. I guess maybe kind of everyone forgot about this at them at the hotel because they kind of wrote it off as she was on a girls' trip. And, he just happened to be there with other friends or something. And then, people come out of the woodwork because they want to sell their story and they want to make some quick cash. And so somebody did come up with some pictures from 6 years ago. Diana Russini and married Mike Vrabel caught kissing at a New York City bar in a bombshell new photos taken 6 years before the scandal. And this is at the Tribeca Tavern in New York City, dimly lit. They were caught smooching in the early hours of March 11th, 2020. That was the day before the world shut down in New York City. The world shut down. It was either March 12th or 13th. They were kissing and they were all over each other. An eyewitness told page 6 he had a ring on. At the time the photos were snapped, Vrabel was already married to his wife, Jen, while Russini said, "I do" to her now husband just 6 months later. Each one of them has 2 kids, and that is tragic and terrible. But everyone else is talking about it. So it's a little lighter than the topics that we usually talk about. Somebody came out with the receipts. Like, girl, what are you doing getting married 6 months later? I want to know who took these pictures. I've never been to the Tribeca bar, but so many bars in New York City are like underground, no windows. So you can go drinking at noon. Nobody will know you're there. I mean, somebody got the goods. It's not like they're going out and getting some, security cam footage from 6 years ago or anything. I don't think. She's 43, he's 50. These were at the hole in the wall bar around midnight and stayed for at least an hour. They were having a glorious time. At that time, he was working. Vrabel was head coach of the Tennessee Titans, and Russini was an NFL reporter at ESPN. Page 6 contacted both Vrabel and Russini on Wednesday afternoon. This was just this past Wednesday. Regarding the photos, while neither commented for this story, Vrabel told ESPN just hours later that he will miss day 3 of the NFL draft to enter counseling. Oh, yeah, you could just enter counseling. You'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just go to counseling. Just go to counseling. No worries. He said, as I said the other day, I promised my family this organ. We just watched that speech. He wants to lead by example. The New England Patriots showed their support for Vrabel entering counseling in a statement to page 6 Thursday. The New England Patriots fully support Mike Vrabel's decision to prioritize his family first, as well as his own well-being. Mike has been open with us about his commitment to being the best version of himself for his family, this team, and our fans. And we respect the steps he's taken to follow through on that commitment. What a mess. We are confident in the leadership and communication Mike has established with our personnel staff throughout this pre-draft process. While he will not be present at the facility on Saturday, we know the draft evaluations are complete, and Elliot Wolf and his personnel staff are prepared to execute our draft as planned this weekend. There it is. There it is. And then they go over all of the other stuff that we just went over. Again. Effing. Oops. What do you think happened? I mean, unfortunate for the families involved. Very unfortunate, but, it's insane. Especially based on the stuff that the videos and the footage, the clips that we just watched from 2020 to 2021, where she's dissing her husband. But, I don't think he's going to suffer any ramifications for his behavior. He won't. The Patriots can't afford to lose him, right? You tell me. Hi, Colleen. She says, please pray for the 2 Chicago police officers that had their lives taken today. I'm so sorry. I haven't read about that yet. Prayers up. Thanks for your super chat. Sunflower Day says, I love Saturday After Dark with Melanie. Thanks. Thanks for being here for 22 months. Unfairview says, I just watched Trial 4 on Netflix. Wow. Just wow. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't. I'll try. It's Rosemary Scapiccio. And it has to do with Sean Ellis and his unjust conviction and corruption in Massachusetts. Andrea with an eye says, watching the storm from the porch in my Melanie Cancun zip up that arrived today, as always. Oh, it's raining here too. I love you with all my heart too. Thanks, Andrea, for your 5 on top. Thank you for your super sticker. Casey Paralegal says, shrinking with Jason Segel and Harrison Ford on Apple TV makes me laugh and cry, and I swear no one talks about it. But it's about, I tried it. I just couldn't get into it. I did give it a try. Should I go back to it? I don't know. Right now, I am heavily involved in Testaments, and I also fell into Margot Has Money Problems. Is anybody watching Margot Has Money Problems? Michelle Pfeiffer and who plays the daughter? See, now it's going to bother me. I got to find it on. I got to IMDb Pro it. Oops, what just happened? What just happened? Margot's Got Money Troubles is with Michelle Pfeiffer and, wait for it, Elle Fanning, Greg Kinnear. It's good. I like it. It's funny. Sometimes we just got to laugh or else we're going to cry all the time. Andrea says, the only way I'd name my baby the same name as my lover is if it's his eyes, if it was his cheating hoe. Thanks, Andrea, for your 10. Behind Blue Eyes says, I run a mental health practice. There's no way he's getting therapy every day. Doesn't work that way. Keep lying. Sometimes they go away for therapy. You know, they go to like a rehab facility for like, you know, I don't even know what it is, like addiction. They say, I have a sex addiction. Tiger Woods tried that too. Remember? Didn't Tiger Woods go for like sex addiction therapy at like, you know, Promises in Malibu or somewhere? Right now he's in Switzerland or something, because I had his arraignment on the calendar for the other day in Florida, but he didn't come back from Switzerland or Sweden or wherever he went for his rehab. And so that has been put over. Behind Blue Eyes says, wife needs to take him for all she can. He's not going to change. So sad. Up to $1,400 a night for the hotel. Bettero was in Arizona, private cameras everywhere. I don't know if Bettero, you think Bettero took the pictures? Thanks for your 5. Thanks, Angel Mom, for becoming a member. Craft Haskell says, I'm around for longer than 6 months. Love you with all my heart. Oh, thank you for being here. Llama Pajama says, thanks for cheering me up. I'm having a few bad weeks. Well, you know what? If I can make you laugh just a little bit, you're not alone, because I'm here with you. It's Saturday night. It's Saturday night. And, you know, TMZ coming up with more pictures from 2024 and then these other pictures from, I mean, it's obvious at this point, and it's sad. You're very welcome, Llama Pajama. Thanks for your super chat. And Karen says, my BFF is at 30-year AP sports writer in Tennessee. Mike Vrabel was so good to her. She's so pissed, as this has been taken the women's sports writers back 20 years. Yeah. Yes. Agreed. And she was a little smarmy in those videos when she was talking about her husband. I don't like that. Don't get on and slag your husband off in front of the world. Oh, you know, he's average. My husband's average. Zoe correcting. Only one of the Chicago PD officers has died. The other's in critical condition. Don't spread rumors that both died. Thank you, Zoe. We don't like rumors here. Thank you. Thank you. When is Stephon Diggs coming back to court? Oh, yes, we're covering that. Oh, yes, we are. You know why? We're covering that? Because didn't he get dump our girl?
Hello.
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah, we're covering that. I have it in my calendar. I just don't remember when the next date is. Scott is confessing. He's confessing. He says, okay, I admit it. I'm addicted to chocolate marshmallow ice cream. hot buffalo wings, hockey, and Key West. I'll allow it, Scott. I will allow it. Listen, everyone needs to have some vices in their lives, right? We all do. Did she dump him or did he dump her? I don't know who dumped who. I thought he dumped her. I don't know, but I don't think they're together anymore. She got rid of him. Good. Good. That makes me feel much better. That makes me feel much better. Oh, yes. I watched the Madison on Paramount Plus with Michelle Pfeiffer. I love it so much. Takes place. They film it, a lot of it in Montana. It is gorgeous country. And I really enjoyed it. And I watched most of it on my 11-hour flight to Hawaii. So I highly recommend the Madison as well. Highly recommend. Wait, is that real? I don't know. I can't put things up on the screen anymore because Scott and Brittany are going to get mad at me if they're not accurate, and it's not my fault because sometimes I see something fly by and I put it up and then it turns out to not be true, and then I got to make retractions. It's like a whole thing. All right, let's talk about the Peacock documentary on the Long Island serial killer and Asa Ellerup, the wife. I'm going to spoil it for you. So if you don't want to hear the spoilers, just go off for like 5 minutes and then come back. Because if you did watch it, we need to talk about it. So much stuff I learned. Or if you didn't know anything about the case, you would have learned a lot in the first 3 episodes. But Asa Ellerup, who is the now ex-wife of Rex Heuermann, the Long Island serial killer, had these cameras from Peacock following her around pretty much since almost right after he was arrested. And she needed money. Quite frankly. I mean, he was the provider. He was the breadwinner. And they lived in this ramble-down shack in Bigfoot County in Massapequa Park. He was an architect, a businessman, New York City. He worked in New York City, took the train from Massapequa, Long Island Railroad every day to Manhattan and back. And they lived in this ramble-down shack. And the fact that he was an architect is mind-boggling. I don't know if they're hoarders. I don't know if, the police did all that damage. But, like, the house was falling down. And so if you haven't seen it, maybe I can find a picture of it and put it up for you. I can't really play for you any part of the Peacock documentary, but it was fascinating. Robert Macedonio, who is the family, the matrimonial lawyer for Asa Ellerup. Asa and Rex got married in 1996. They have 1 child together. Her name's Victoria. When Asa married Rex, he had a son who was a couple years old. I don't really remember exactly how many years old. But Asa met Rex when she was 18 years old. And she went to Farmingdale High School on Long Island, and he went to Massapequa High School. And she had red hair, which is wild to me because she still has red hair. But remember the corn searches in the planning document? I have a whole entire playlist on this. But I want to show you because they did. Hopefully they'll have some pictures up. Some pictures of what Asa looked like when she was young, when they first met, when she was like 18 years old. She met him when she was 18. She was like, he was such a great guy. You could just call him up and talk to him, nothing else. And then she met someone else and married him. And the way she put it was like something like, he just, he changed. The man that I married changed, and he wasn't who I thought he was. And so when I was getting divorced, I called Rex, and he was so kind, and he let me just move right in with him, with my son. And then, like, right away, before they even got married, she got pregnant with Victoria. And so many people have been like speculating that, she knew, she had to know. How didn't she know? I'm telling you, after watching all 4 parts of this, I do not think that she knew. I think that she was in complete denial about who this man was. I think that she was completely controlled by him. And the way that she got so uppity, anytime anybody asked her, she's like, it was so interesting. It was like she was in such denial. And she did continue to speak to Rex throughout the time that he's been incarcerated in Riverhead in Suffolk County Correctional Facility since his arrest in July of 2023. And she kept talking to him and she did not want to believe anything. She did not want to believe that he was responsible for these murders. And if you recall from the playlist, his attorney, Michael Brown, vehemently denied his involvement. My client did not do this. He tells me he didn't have anything to do with this. He had nothing to do with this. And very adamant. And that tune, has since changed, considering, there was a guilty plea and all. And so what had happened was, every single time that one of these girls was murdered, every single time, Asa and the kids were on vacation, and they have receipts for it. She went out of the country. His first kill, Sandra Cosilla, in 1993. That was before they got married. Karen Vergata was in 1996, right before they got married. He flew to Iceland. I think they got married in Iceland. She flew to Iceland with the kids for 3 weeks, 2 weeks ahead of him. And in the 2 weeks that she was away, he killed Karen Vergata and dismembered her. And her legs washed up on Fire Island in 1996. His first kill, Sandra Cosilla, in 1993, is the only woman out of the 8 that he pled guilty to killing who was not killed in the home. In the home. He had a kill room set up in the basement, not in the vault, but in the main part of the basement, which was his childhood bedroom, with all of his childhood tchotchkes all around. He set up a kill room. Karen Vergata was the first that he killed inside the house, and he had like a 4-day kill plan. And they talk about it. It's fascinating. I mean, if you like this kind of stuff. Sandra Cosilla was the first in 1993. He killed her in his Dodge Ram truck. How do we know this? Because he told Asa everything. Robert Macedonio, the matrimonial attorney, is a producer on this documentary. That's probably how he got paid, because she didn't have any money to pay him. And she's left really with nothing. She's indigent, right? Hopefully they paid her for this documentary. Robert Macedonio got a therapist to come. Her name is, hold on, I Googled her earlier. Oh, please. Her name is, no, I've got US Open tickets open for Shinnecock. I've got everything open. Allison Winter. Her name is Allison Winter. She was a therapist. Macedonio got Allison Winter to come in, and I'm sure she treated them for free. And she spoke to not only Rex alone, but also Asa alone, and also Victoria alone. And then 8 months before the guilty plea, Rex met with Asa separately, and he said, I will answer any questions that you want me to answer. And also met with the daughter, Victoria. Same thing. And he told them everything. So the 7 women, the 4 from Gilgo Beach, the Gilgo 4, Karen Vergata, Jessica Taylor, and Valerie Mack, were all killed in the kill room. Karen Vergata, Valerie Mack, and Jessica Taylor were all dismembered, and the Gilgo 4 were not. It's a 4-part documentary on Peacock. I hope this Allison Winter writes a book, because I'm fascinated by it. And then at the end, she's really the first therapist, I think, to be able to interview not just a serial killer, but also the serial killer's family, and then treat them all together. Because at the end of episode 4, she goes to Virginia to meet with John Douglas, the author of Mindhunter. Has anyone read Mindhunter? I'm like, this is the rabbit hole I fall into. I got to get the book now. I got to read the book. I got to do it all. Famous profiler. In fact, all the way back when I did the deep dive on the Atlantic City Strangler case, because I still think he's connected to that. I think it was John Douglas who did the profile of the Atlantic City Strangler. And the profile is exactly Rex Heuermann. And so Allison Winter goes to meet with John Douglas, and he's like, wow, like, this is amazing that you got to meet with the family and the serial killer, because nobody's ever done that before. Good. Did you guys read the book? All right, good. I'm going to have to get it. I can get it tomorrow for $11. It'll be here tomorrow, Amazon. And it was just fascinating because she was really trying to help Asa like digest this, because he came clean and he told her everything that she wanted to know. And she still, I don't think, she still doesn't want to believe it. Victoria at the end, the daughter, a lot of people were speculating that Victoria was involved too. And there's just no way. I mean, her hairs were found on some of the victims, but listen, they both have a lot of hair. Their hairs would be everywhere in the house. By the end, Victoria was like, yeah, I do believe that he did it. And she's like, but I visit him and like, I can't see that side of him. I only see the side of him that's my dad. And Kerry Rawson, who is the daughter of the BTK killer, came to visit them at their house, because she's like, I know what this is like. Like, people thought we were involved too, thought my mother was involved too. And like I'm the only person that could really understand what you're going through. And it's horrible what this Heuermann family has been going through. And they're still living in that house. And if you haven't watched it and you want to watch it, I'm going to spoil it for you right now. So just mute me. And then I'll put the peace sign up when I'm done talking about it. The very end of the last episode, Asa Heuermann reveals that she is sleeping in the kill room. She has renovated the basement. She's set up her bed there. She's sleeping and living in the kill room as some sort of like spirituality quest, because she's so sorry about what happened to the victims. Yeah, he's living. Did you guys see it? There's stuffed animals everywhere, squishmallows everywhere. What is going on here? What is going on with the squishmallows down there? And then Victoria's down there burning sage. She's putting the sage all over. And Allison, the therapist, is like, what do you think the sage is going to do? I'm like, there is not enough sage in the world, girl. I see I'm twitching now. There's not enough sage in the world to burn away the evil that is living in your basement. And then I was waiting for them to talk about his childhood, Rex Heuermann's, because he grew up in that house. And he never moved out of the house. Like, the mother gave him the house. I think the mother is still alive somewhere. He's also like, how many kids in the family? There's like 5 kids in the family. He never got any attention when he was little. And so he needed attention. Like, his father was really mean. And his father died when he was 12. And his father was, traveling all the time. And so he didn't have his needs met. And all of the corn searches that were found on his computer were like chubby redhead girl kind of corn, gross, horrible things. Redhead girl with bruised face, begging for, like, just horrible things. Go back to my show on Rex's sick manifesto, and it was so repulsive. Hold, please. So if you did watch this documentary, tell me what you found the most fascinating parts of it to be. I mean, listen, I remember going on Police Off the Cuff, I think it was, when this first broke, when he was first arrested, and all the information started coming out about how all the information about Rex Heuermann's physical description and first generation green Chevy Avalanche was in the file since 2010. Because Amber Costello's roommate, who had the ruse going with her, gave the police a description. He was the last person to see Amber alive. He gave them a description of a 6'4" to 6'6" man that looked like an ogre with bushy hair and thick glasses, and he drove a first generation Chevy Avalanche. And it got buried in the file, and nobody ever did a cross-check on that, because that's when James Burke came in. He had his own demons. He wound up going to jail, chief of police. Dave Schaller. That's right. It was Dave Schaller, her roommate. And he's in the documentary. Well, there's clips of him. He's not in the documentary personally, but I think those were old clips of him. And it was just so interesting. What made me mad in the end, in the episode 4, if you watched it, was when Rex was on the phone and they had him on speaker, and it was Allison, the therapist, Christopher, the stepson, Victoria, and Asa. And every time he would call, he'd be like, "How are you doing, my dear?" So creepy. "How are you doing, my dear?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm good. How are you?" He's like, "Oh, how did you sleep?" She's like, "What did you have for dinner last night?" He's like, "Oh, I had a cheeseburger." He said something to the son that was so weird. Did you watch it, Makazi G? He said, well, listen, you're going to have to start talking because the other two, they'll just be silenced for 20 minutes and they won't say a damn thing. You're going to have to take control of this. You're the man of the house now, kind of thing. What a freaking narcissist this man is. And now, as part of his plea deal, I think, here's what I think. Because before this documentary, I was like, why the hell would he ever take a plea deal? There's no death penalty here. What are they going to offer him? What are they going to offer him to make it worth his while to plead guilty? I mean, there's mountains of evidence against him, but we all wanted to see it because we've been living in this nightmare since Karen Vergata's legs washed up on the Fire Island beach in Davis Park in 1996. The beaches that I take my kids to here. And so we knew there was a serial killer because all these bodies are found on Gilgo, and it's been going on since 96, 30 years. And so I'm like, what can they give him? Why would he plead guilty? Here's why. Here's what I think happened. Here's why I think he did it. Number one, I think Peacock was not going to air that documentary, and maybe she wouldn't get a final payment until there was some kind of finality to the case. Maybe there was either a verdict or whatever happened. Maybe. Also, I think that she's going to continue to visit him because she still wants to, she still, I guess, is in love with him. It feels like she's still in love with him. And so I think he'll be able to negotiate, being in a prison that's a little bit closer to Long Island than, someplace all the way up in wherever the hell, Buffalo or something. And so I think that's, I don't know why this, oh, there we go. And I think maybe she was like, Rex, well, we need money. And I think that, you should plead guilty because he confessed to them 8 months before the plea deal was made in open court. Yeah. And right. And right, Scott, here's the other thing. Scott says, I think someone let Rex know that he needed to take a plea for his family's sake. Also, he told them what he wanted them to hear, right? He told them, they asked questions. Yes, I did kill 7 women in the house, in the basement. Sandra Costilla was my first. And, she was in the truck. He had a Dodge Ram at the time. It's on Peacock. If they went to trial and all of this gruesome evidence came out, his family probably wouldn't talk to him anymore. And he probably really, really, really wants them to still visit him in prison because he's going to be in there for, I don't know how many life sentences consecutively. And also, as part of the plea deal, the FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit, just like in Criminal Minds, gets to study him and he gets to talk to them. And he probably gets to have a Dr. Pepper every now and then. Maybe a slice of pizza. We know he likes pizza. And then there was another person who, I forget if it was, I think it was John Douglas who said that, because wasn't he corresponding? Well, I don't know if he was corresponding with the BTK killer, but I think it was John Douglas who said that BTK was really jealous of Rex Heuermann because, he got to live out his fantasies. He had a place to do it. He had a place where he could take his time and play with them and do all of the dismembering and the cleanup. And it was he had a 4-day plan for each of these kills. The first day was the prep and collecting all of the materials that he was going to need. And then the second day was getting them there. And then being so charming with them. And then the third day was playtime and cleanup. And then the dumping. And then the fourth day was just in case anything went wrong. So he had an extra day built in. And it was vile. Vile. but fascinating at the same time. And since you're all listen to me, because we do a lot of true crime, I think you're probably into it too. And so you'll probably like it too. Thanks, Annie, for becoming a new member. Jordan says, in my opinion, Asa was there for Karen. He knew about the others. Did you watch the documentary? Jordan, watch the documentary, and I genuinely believe, here's what I wanted to know, and they never touched on this. Or wait, did they? They did. Okay. So remember, because we looked at this again the other day. Johnny Ray came out with Rodney Harrison, did a presser before Rodney Harrison was asked to leave. And Johnny Ray said a witness came forward and came to him, a black woman who was dating an NYPD detective at the time, back on Valentine's Day in February of 1996. And she says they picked up Karen Vergata near Port Authority and brought her to Massapequa to Rex Sherman's house for a swingers party. She also says Asa was there. She said Asa was pregnant. And she said that Asa would not have relations with her because she was black. She also said that Rex and her boyfriend went off together to do their thing. And that Karen Vergata, when they left, was running around outside naked. And she said to her boyfriend, why are we leaving her here? Isn't it dangerous? And her boyfriend was like, oh, don't worry. They're just playing a game. But here's what I think happened. Well, no, because that wouldn't fit into the timeline of the 3 weeks. I can't remember exactly when they were married in 1996, but I wanted them to ask her about that. Because it could have been that she went away like a day or two later and he kept Karen Vergata around somewhere. Then Asa went out of town for the wedding and then he followed her there like 2 weeks later. So that was one question that I did have about it. Like, just because Asa may have been a swinger, and they never talked about that either. They didn't get into any of the swinging. And we know that they went to La Trapeze and all that stuff, right? Yeah, Jordan said, I watched the documentary. It made me think it even more. I don't know. I just got a vibe from her. Like, she had no idea. And that this man could compartmentalize these things in his life. And he always did it when they were out of town and in the house. But I also think there are a lot more bodies. And I think maybe after 2010, he decided he couldn't do it in town anymore. He had to find another place to do it. And remember, they had like a timeshare, or they had like another property in DC. I mean, not in DC, in Vegas. And they also have property, or he has property in like one of the Carolinas. So I don't know. I just can't go that far. I think she's really genuinely controlled by him. And she had a traumatic upbringing. She said that, when she was sick, she was adopted from Iceland to an American family. And the therapist said, yeah, so nobody ever really wanted her. I was like, oh, that's not a very nice thing for the therapist to say. And she came to the US and her brother was adopted to a different family in Iceland. And then when she was 16, some group of boys, like a boy dragged her behind her house and she said, molested her. I don't know if it was grape or what. So she had a lot of trauma. And then I don't know what happened during that first marriage because they didn't really get into that too much. And so I think that, he found a woman that he could control. And that's what he said about his first wife, because he had a first wife too. And he said, I couldn't control my first wife. She was uncontrollable. Nobody's ever interviewed the first wife. That'd be very interesting to me. Behind Blue Eyes says, no, I don't think Better did take the pictures when you're famous. You need to know that there's cameras everywhere. Thank you for your 5. DK says, I'm sick of these serial killers and their excuses. My 9 siblings and I got daily bruises from my father. I haven't unalived anybody, nor do I have the urge to. Oh, girl, I'm not saying, first of all, I'm so sorry that happened to you. So sorry that happened to you. But I don't think it's an excuse at all. He did say that he had these like dark urges since he was a kid, and he used to like his favorite book. I forget the name of his favorite book, but it was like pictures of like mutilated bodies and stuff. It was horrific. Horrific. Thank you, DK, for being here for 30 months. You're an OG. And Kat Randall, thank you for gifting a membership. You're awesome. All right, so if you watched it, I'm going to go back to the chat now because I've been talking and I haven't been looking. Lucy said, Melanie, I listened to a profiler on this, and he says sexual homicide offenders rarely offend after 50 years of age. He was 47 in 2010 or so, and it lines up with the stats that he may have stopped. I don't believe in stats. Here's why. And this is, I started a story before, and then I didn't finish it. Back when I was on Police Off the Cuff, when this first broke in 2023, and I got mad because I'm like, listen, you can't tell me that there's 2 serial killers dumping bodies on Gilgo and Long Island. And everyone's telling me like, oh yeah, well, some were dismembered, some weren't. It's not the same MO. It's not going to be the same guy. I'm like, what do you mean? You mean like when someone's younger, they can't dismember. And then when they get older, they just get lazier and they're like, I don't want to dismember anymore. I couldn't believe it. And I got a lot of flack for that. And there's nothing I like better than saying, I told you so. So there's that. All right. Team Brittany says there's a difference between an excuse and a reason. A large percentage of those abused become abusers themselves. It's sad but true. I know. Beach says that I don't think he stopped. No way. I don't think so either. I think he went somewhere else, further away from here. Venus Blue says, I think LISK is going to end up like GSK, who ended up also being the original Night Stalker. East Area, Reister Town, and the Vidalia Roundsacker. Lucky to be big. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very fine. At what age did he start? Okay, well, let's see. So he was born in 64. He says that his first kill was in 93. So he would have been 29. And I don't believe that either. I think his father died when he was 12, and his mother was like very unavailable, apparently. And I don't know if she was a drinker. It looked like she was drinking in the montage that they had with the actor that they hired to play her. But I think he probably started at 18 because he worked in high school. He worked at Jones Beach. And so I think he started much earlier. I've done other shows on cold cases from the 80s. In fact, one of those cold cases that we talked about from the 80s, they were the Hot Skates cases. Teresa Fusco is on 48 Hours tonight. I'm taping it so I can go watch it later. But remember, Teresa Fusco, we talked about her from Hot Skates. She worked at the snack bar, remember? And she went and she left crying because she got fired from her job. And then she was, there were 3 guys who served like 18 years in prison for her murder. And then they were not the right guys. And then they got let out. They sued the county. They got a bunch of money. And just recently, they solved that 40-year-old cold case. And there's another guy, Bilodeau, that they now have for Teresa Fusco's murder. And that was in the 80s from Hot Skates. We all used to go to the roller rink back in the day. But that's tonight's 48 Hours. 48 Hours is on Teresa Fusco. So I found that to be interesting. So let's all watch that. And then we can come back and debrief on that one too. Okay. Okay. It's called House of Secrets. Let me see that, girl. I have it pulled up on my IMDb. Hold on. It's called, no, wait, let me tell you what it's called. Oh, please. The Gilgo Beach Killer, House of Secrets. Yes. The Gilgo Beach Killer, House of Secrets. It is 4 episodes. It just came out the other day. Nurse Not Lawyer said because the first wife knew. Free Saint Turtle Boy says, I think he lied about there being only 8 victims. Yeah, me too. You know why? Some states where he may have committed these crimes have the death penalty. So he's certainly not going to confess to anything that may have happened in another state. What about the New Bedford Highway killings? I still think he's the Eastbound Strangler. I don't know if the first wife knew. That is true. Mouse Bronze is like there were at least 4 serial murderers of women at that time: Hierman, Rifkin, Joel Rifkin, John Bitroff, and Schulman. I gotta say, this may be an unpopular opinion about Bitroff. I think Sherman did the stuff that Bitroff is in jail for. I do. The MO is the same. The victimology is the same. Bitroff admitted that he had sex with these women, but he did not kill them. Like, I Does anybody know? And BitRolf, I've tried so hard to get the court file on BitRolf. I can't get it. I can't get it. The more recent one, the one that I am talking about right now, is called the Gilgo Beach the Gilgo Beach Killer House of Secrets. 4 episodes on Peacock. Go watch it. And so that was I've tried to do a deep dive on BitRolf. There's not a lot of information available. And a lot of people say that was a very corrupt trial. And I did Tom Spota. Was he the DA at the time? Tom Spota wound up going to jail because James Burke beat up a Christopher Loeb because if you know this story, listen to this. Here's the tea on this. So shortly after, they started investigating Gilgo Beach, and the FBI is making like progress because the bodies were found in 2010. Shortly after that, James Burke came in as the police chief in Suffolk County, New York, and he kicked the FBI off the case. And then maybe like a little bit into that, there's a guy named Christopher Loeb, a kid who steals something out of James Burke's police car that's parked in front of his house. And it's not so much that he stole something out of there. It was a duffel bag, but it's what was in the duffel bag that was important. And inside the duffel bag of James Burke in his police-issued cruiser was some sex toys. And it is alleged that there was a snuff film in there and some other things, maybe drug paraphernalia and some other things, maybe some corn magazines and things like that. And then what had happened was James Burke brought Christopher Loeb down to the station, or someone did, and he and a number of officers beat the bejesus out of this kid. And then James Burke made everybody cover it up. And so James Burke wound up going to prison, federal prison, as did Tom Spota, the DA at the time. And so there were various toys, right? And others, wasn't there a snuff film in there too? And James Burke had a predilection for smoking crack in the back of his cruiser with another woman. So I don't know how he ever became the police chief in Suffolk County, but they were up to their own shenanigans. And so that is why, even though all the information was in the police file since 2010, Rex Heuermann was never caught. All they had to do was cross-check 6'4" green Chevy Avalanche guy on Long Island, and they would have found he was right under their nose the whole time. He never moved out of Massapequa. In fact, he kept that green Chevy Avalanche. He gave it to his brother. It was still in the family. Oh. Saucy says, my friend Dave Schaller served Rex on a silver platter and the cops ignored him. I know. I'm still so mad about it. I'm still so mad about it. He wasn't. Have you seen the documentary? Because Dave is in it. Or it's an old clip of him talking about it. But James Burke didn't want anybody digging into whatever the hell he was involved in too. And then I remember it was after I started my channel. So it was after 2023. Rex Heuermann was arrested like in the summer. And then James Burke was arrested again in Farmingville at the Vietnam War Memorial, soliciting sex acts from a male prostitute. No, you can't make this up. You can't make it up. That case is still not resolved. James Burke sold his house, I think, in Smithtown. So thank you to your friend Dave Schaller. I don't know why they didn't. The whole thing is I'm still so mad about it. Allie says Burke beat him too. He had him chained to the floor in the center of the empty room. Yeah, it was Burke and all of his buddies. And then he made everybody cover it up. Sharon says, we live in a beautiful town, Massapequa Park. I grew up here. It is safe. Asa has made money from the dock, so she can move, tear it down, knowing 8 women were brutally murdered there. I mean, she's living in the kill room. She renovated the kill room, and she's living there. I don't know if that was just for like some extra like drama for this documentary, but her bed was down there, and all of her squishmallows and her very odd like Hello Kitty blanket, and I don't know what the hell's going on there. I really don't. Makazi G says Dave Schaller gave them that information in 2010 and they let Rex go for more than a decade. Oh, is that true? Because that's what it said. So Creating Through Chaos says it's not a new documentary. They added a 4th episode after the plea. The first 3 have been out for a while. Okay. It never came to my attention, but that explains it. Because when I look on IMDb, it says like the release date on those first 3 episodes. Thank you for clearing that up for me. We're in June of 2025. the first 3. And then the 4th one just came out 2 days ago. So if you have watched the first 3 episodes, this might be old for you. Just go back and watch episode 4. Squishmallows. Yeah, they're like these big, anybody who has kids that are like teenagers knows what squishmallows are. They're like these giant stuffed animal pillow things that are really, really, really comfortable. Yes, yes, you're right, Mouse Brown. It wasn't until a woman became Suffolk police chief, I think, that anyone in law enforcement gave a damn about dead women. I mean, listen, it was a female New York State trooper who put 2 and 2 together finally and made the connection between the avalanche and Rex Heuermann. And to think that he was living here this whole entire time. This whole entire time. Tiff says, that makes me very uncomfortable. It's so strange. I still can't wrap my head around it. I know. So I think that's, I think it kind of answers my questions about why he did take the play. Is that he wants to be close enough so they can still come visit him and they don't find out all the gruesome details about it, even though Victoria seems to know every single detail about that horrific manifesto and all of the things that he wrote down. And he actually said that he wrote that manifesto like so because he thought that by writing it down, it would kind of like fix his urges and then he wouldn't actually do it. He could just write it down and do it. Overruled sit down says it would have knocked the house down. I mean, if you look at the inside of that house, it probably should have been condemned. Oh, another crazy detail that came out was that one of the times when they were on vacation, when he murdered one of the women, he also renovated the whole entire bathroom. She's like, but he was renovating the bathroom. How could he be out killing people? Like she couldn't grasp the fact that this could all happen in the scope of one evening. It's wild. Do I think that he'll be honest with the FBI, says Inverted Sneaker? I don't know. What do you think? I mean, he's got nothing to lose, right? He's probably going to enjoy the attention and the pizza and the Dr. Pepper and the time out of his cell. I guess he can't be too honest if it could connect him to things in other states that could qualify for the death penalty. I think, a lot of narcissists a lot of serial killers are really, really, really narcissistic and they want everyone to know about it. They want everyone to know about it. So I don't know. Part of the deal. Yeah. Lucy says you don't tend to see well-adjusted spouses of serial killers. Yeah. Nurse Not Lawyer says Rex will toy with the FBI. Scott McGinnis says, what do married women not know about their husbands? Just saying. I mean, listen, all the dates lined up. Like they were out of the town or out of the country. Like they were at Disney one time or someplace where he hates roller coasters, apparently. Could you imagine this man? This man doesn't, dismembering doesn't bother him, but he hates roller coasters. So she had to take them to Six Flags by herself. Thanks, Kat, for gifting a membership. And Proxy Got Waffle being here for 12 months says, I've never been so committed to anything. Much love. Oh, thank you so much for our long-term 12-month relationship. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, is he going to want to brag about it? Probably. I mean, a lot of people are saying you didn't get notifications. First of all, I only scheduled this an hour before I went live. That's probably why. Also, YouTube is not sending out notifications anymore. They've told us creators that if a person has not engaged with a notification for your channel in a month, they will no longer get notifications for your channel because they find that if people don't engage with your notifications and they keep getting them, that they will turn off all notifications. And that wouldn't be fair to other creators who they have notifications for. It's dumb. I don't like it, but make sure your notifications are on, I guess, and just check. I don't know anything about my thoughts on Megan Thee Stallion. Clay sucks. Poor Mac. I don't know anything about what you're talking about right now. Hold on, Melissa, because I don't know even what you're talking about. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Thanks for your deuce, but so there's that. Yeah, sometimes you'll get the half-hour notice. It is. It's very frustrating and it's very annoying. All right. Since a lot of my Saturday evening base is Massachusetts based, what the hell is in the water in Massachusetts? What the actual hell is in the water in Massachusetts? This is what I wake up to this morning. This is in Wellesley. We're pivoting. There's been more information since this, but this was this morning. Oh, well, it'd be helpful if I turned on the sound.
The 25th, and we were at the scene of a terrible tragedy here.
All right. This is in Wellesley, Mass.
Today is Saturday, April 25th, and we were at the scene of a terrible tragedy here in Wellesley. 2 children were found deceased inside a home on Edgemoor Avenue. The police department says they got a call Friday night from a police department up in Vermont requesting a well-being check. Wellesley officers found the 2 children dead inside the home. The police department and the district attorneys say at this point, there's no ongoing threat to the community. The names of the children are not being released. We'll keep you posted as we get additional information.
Well,
here's
the additional information. Here's the additional information because this broke this morning. I mean, this is like this afternoon, this broke. Let me know that you can hear it.
Community is in shock tonight after 2 children are found dead inside a Wellesley home. And just within the last few minutes, the Norfolk DA says their mother is under arrest in Vermont, charged with their murder. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ken McLeod. Investigators have spent all day coming and going from the house on Edgemoor Avenue. And that's where WBZ's Paul Burton is live for us right now. Paul?
Yeah, Kim, we have just confirmed from the Norfolk County DA's office that 49-year-old Jeanette McCausland has been arrested as a fugitive from justice in the death of her 2 children, ages 6 and 7. She's being held at a correctional facility in Vermont. Meanwhile, folks in this community are overcome with grief.
It's unbelievable. Very shocked, yeah.
So the wellness check request came from a police department in Vermont on Friday night. And now the mother has been arrested in Vermont, charged with killing her 6 and 7-year-old. They're going to have to extradite her from Vermont. Here we go again. What is in the water in Massachusetts?
I'd never realized something like that.
I feel very sad for the loss of the 2 kids.
Wellesley neighbors are devastated and shocked after a horrifying discovery inside this home at 63 Edgemoor Ave.
On that residence.
Okay, this is Norfolk County. This is Norfolk County MSP detectives. Let's see if we recognize anyone in the background. Let's see if they know how to run a crime scene. This is Norfolk County.
Should be 2 children there. Secure that scene. Order in the midnight shift.
Norfolk County DA said Wellesley police had received a call around 9:30 Friday night from a Vermont police department for a wellness check at the home. Once police arrived, they found 2 dead children inside the home.
The father is on the phone now. Unconsolable on the phone.
Vicky Chan says she knew something was wrong last night when multiple police cars arrived.
Everyone feels very bad for the loss of the 2 kids. We just wonder, what's going on.
James and Laura, who did not want to show their faces, are familiar with the family.
From what I know of the family, it seems to me like very surprising. Seemed very well cared for. Their parents seem to love them a lot. None of this seems consistent with what we've seen walking our dog by the house.
There was a large police presence all throughout the day on Saturday.
Olivia, you took the words right out of my mouth. Look, they're securing the scene. They've got crime scene tape up. You're going to see that they've got a cruiser parked outside to guard the scene too. There we go.
Saturday, as investigators searched the home and spoke with neighbors.
The police knock our door. He wants the camera report. He said it's an accident happened.
Neighbors say they would often see the kids playing outside.
They were very good friends playing together.
Well, look, there looks like an officer standing in the street, securing the scene, not leaving it unattended.
With the kids across the street.
It's really sad. I definitely know the young kids in those two buildings, two houses.
Now, folks in this community are wondering how this could happen and why.
It's very sad. It's horrible. Those were adorable little kids.
Again, the ages of those two children are 6 and 7. McCausland will be arraigned in Vermont Superior Court on Monday to answer to those fugitive from justice charges. Now, Vermont State Police is also working closely with Massachusetts State Police to have her brought back here to Massachusetts to answer to those murder charges as well. Live in Wellesley, I'm Paul Burton, WBZ News.
Sick, right? Oh, I think I had one more pulled up. Oh, no, that was WCVB. That's the same one. Let's go to, sometimes they show us different parts of the scene. So this one is from Channel 5.
Breaking first at 7, a Wellesley mother arrested in southern Vermont, charged with murdering her 6 and...
Look at that. They even shut the road down. Look, they've got road closed signs. They've got barriers up. Why didn't they shut the road down when they found John O'Keefe's dead body at 34 Fairview? They never closed the road, did they? Huh. Knocking on doors looking for ring camera. Yep. Can you imagine? They were knocking on doors and looking for ring camera footage from all of the neighbors. Oh, did they just figure it out, or have they known how to do it all along? Here you go. Let's keep going.
7-year-old children. Tonight, she is behind bars as questions grow about exactly what happened and why. Thanks for joining us tonight at 7. I'm Jennifer Piñate. Those children were found during a well-being check on Edgemore Avenue in Wellesley. Our Todd Kaskevich is at the breaking news desk with the information just shared by the DA in the past hour.
Jennifer, the Norfolk District Attorney says an arrest warrant has been obtained for 49-year-old Jeanette McCausland of Wellesley, charging...
Jeanette McCausland. Okay. They don't even name Michael Marcy anymore. It's like the Norfolk County DA says... Dun, dun, dun. They don't even want to say his name. It's like poison. It's poison. Listen.
Just shared by the DA in the past hour.
Jennifer, the Norfolk District Attorney says an arrest warrant has been obtained for 49-year-old Jeanette McCausland of Wellesley, charging 2 counts of murder. The victims are her own children, ages 6 and 7. She was arrested in Vermont after her children were found dead last night in Wellesley.
I feel very sad for the loss of the 2 kids.
Residents of this normally calm, quiet Wellesley neighborhood are in shock as they see the heavy police presence on their street and the medical examiner's van after 2 children were discovered dead inside this house at 63 Edgemore Avenue.
When I woke up, the police were here. It was local and state, and they asked me if I had any ring cameras or anything like that.
Wow. Wellesley PD. Shout out to Wellesley PD for doing it right, because it probably wasn't the MSP troopers assigned to Norfolk County DA's office who did that.
Like that. And then they asked me when was the last time I heard any of the kids' voices coming from that direction, which tipped me off that something really bad had happened.
The Norfolk District Attorney says Friday night, Wellesley police received a call from a Vermont police department requesting a well-being check on family members believed to be in a home on Edgemore Avenue. Wellesley police responded to that home and located 2 children deceased inside the residence.
They usually were always just playing right there in the backyard on trampoline and on their swing.
Investigators are seen here Saturday working in the backyard of the home. and out front, carrying away items in brown paper bags after the horrific tragedy inside.
I still wonder what happened to them. Yeah, I have no idea.
And that is, of course, one of the many unanswered questions in this case. And this is a live look at the house there on Edgemore Avenue in Wellesley. As you can see, the scene is clear at this hour. We do not at this point know how or even when the children died. So recapping, 49-year-old Jeanette McCausland of Wellesley is now in custody in Vermont. She will be in court there on Monday as a fugitive from justice. Then she will eventually be brought back to Massachusetts to be charged with 2 counts of murder. Reporting live in the newsroom, Todd Kiskiewicz, WCVB News Center 5.
Okay, but that's not all, because then there was a killing at UMass Amherst at an on-campus hotel. This is from. I mean, you guys have enough news in Massachusetts to keep us busy forever. I feel like April 20. This is from yesterday. New details, it says, on brutal domestic killing at UMass Amherst.
This afternoon to a shocking murder on UMass Amherst campus this week as new details come to light.
A campus employee and someone who was a celebrated chef is accused of brutally beating his wife to death in a hotel room. NBC Boston's Amelia Fabiano went to campus for us today.
This is the building where police say that murder happened this week. It's called the Hotel UMass. It's attached to the school's campus center, and you can see people have already started to add a sort of memorial out front, laying down bouquets of flowers. Students I've been speaking with tell me they were shocked to hear what happened right on school grounds.
Crazy story. Everyone was pretty shocked. Everyone's like telling their families. Everyone's texting you, asking about it. It's crazy.
36-year-old Jeffrey McDonald was arraigned Thursday in connection with the murder of his wife. The district attorney confirmed both were employees of UMass Amherst, although they would not release the wife's name.
And actually, at the time, I was right underneath the hotel having dinner, and my friends and I saw a bunch of ambulances and police cars outside.
Court documents say just before 8 Wednesday night, police were called to room 413 at Hotel UMass for reports of an emergency. When officers got there, they say a violent struggle happened between them and McDonald. They discovered he had beaten his wife to death inside the room, which he allegedly later admitted to investigators, saying it was his intent to kill her.
Oh.
They got the news out.
Nothing like a confession showing intent. They said I saw another headline that he was like a famous chef. What was he famous for? Jeffrey McDonald. Was he on I don't know, a reality show or something? I don't know.
Pretty early, I guess, the next morning, so they haven't said much since.
UMass sent out an email to students the day after, acknowledging the heartbreaking news and providing support resources.
We had also had a text come out the day prior about an assault that happened on campus. So it was kind of just a lot of news within 24 hours.
McDonald pleaded not guilty to charges of murder and assault and battery on a police officer. He's being held without bail, and his next court date is set for May 12th. Court records also show he's been accused of abuse before. In 2024, the mother of 2 of his children filed a motion to stop him from seeing them, claiming accounts of verbal and physical abuse against the kids and their stepmother. The motion was later.
Well, just a piece of paper, right? Just a piece of paper. Well, they're not releasing the name of the woman who he beat to death. But this affidavit, the plaintiff's name is Ashley Dunn. And so it seems like this is his ex-wife. And it says that the children have been reporting verbal abuse from their father, yelling, being called names, swearing, witnessing demeaning verbal abuse between father and stepmother. I wonder if it was the stepmother that he finally, beat to death. Because again, it's just a piece of paper, these restraining orders.
Counts of verbal and physical abuse against the kids and their stepmother. The motion was later dismissed.
And I feel sorry for all the staff that knew him and maybe even his wife.
I did reach out to McDonald's attorney for comment. They would not give one. Anyone with information regarding this investigation is asked to contact Mass State Police. Reporting in Amherst, Amelia Fabiano, NBC 10 Boston.
But that's not all, because I have the 911 call. Would you like to hear the 911 audio from the Hotel UMass? It's only about 3 minutes long. Wow. He was on mass. What? Oh, wait, hold on. Walked right through that restraining order. Yep. Oh, thank you, Lamasus, for gifting 5 memberships. You're awesome. You're awesome. Mimi said he had awards for being a chef, but one of my sons won Master Chef. I don't think I've ever seen Master Chef. Chopped is one of my favorites. Thank you, Lamasus. You are so sweet. Okay, here's the 911 call from the UMass hotel beating. This guy seemingly was a problem. Here we go. I'll trigger warn you just in case because I have not listened to it. I will put on the closed captions, but don't rely on them because they're oftentimes wrong. Here we go.
Attention, Medic 3, response. Campus Center Way, Campus Center Hotel, UMass, room 413. It's going to be for a possible mental health issue. UMP on the scene, assessing now. 1 Campus Center Way, Campus Center Hotel, room 413. 1940. 7 to 9, Medic 3. Go ahead, Medic 3. We're on to the Campus Center Hotel. Could you remember the nature of the call?
Here's the door.
It was called as possibly a mental health problem with a male party, but UMP found some blood in the bathroom, and there's another female party there. I don't know if it's both patients or something else. Receive. 79, Medic 3. Go ahead, Medic 3. Control the function. Medic 3 on scene 1 Campus Center Way, 1952. Medic 3 from 729. Attention Medic 4, attention Medic 4, co-respond 1 Campus Center Way, 4th floor, Unit 413. UMPD is yelling about having a body down and needing additional personnel. Unable to get further information about the situation, please respond 1 Campus Center Way, 413, 1954. 79, Medic 4. Go ahead, Medic 4. On air 1 Campus Center Way, 413. Okay, Medic 4 on air 1 Campus Center Way, room 413, 1956. 79 from Medic 3. Go ahead, Medic 3. I need an additional ambulance here as soon as possible, and I need X7, please. Medic 4 is en route to assist with X7 on it. Do you need me to dispatch Engine 1 for ambulance? Attention Engine 1, attention Engine 1. Respond for as additional personnel, 1 Campus Center Way, the hotel, room 413. Respond, 1 Campus Center Way, room 413, 1957. 79, Engine 1. Go ahead, Engine 1. Engine 1 and A1 are on there responding to Campus Center Hotel, 693 floor, to assist Medic 3, 4. Engine 1, A1 on air to the Campus Center Hotel, combined crew of 4, 1958. 9, Medic 4 is on. Medic 4 on scene, 1958.
So there's that. But there's more. He was Chef of the Year, says Kitty, a prestigious national award. Does sound very clear for an emergency line. We don't get those clear calls often, right? Oh, good. The pen's won. Thanks, Scott. 4-2. Woo woo. Right. I agree. Smile, go ahead. Says it's wild how they just keep calling him a celebrated chef. It's more about that than the victim. Yeah. And apparently he admitted to intending to kill her. Rachel says, UMass Amherst has been ranked #1 for best campus dining food for 9 years. Really? Among all colleges or all Massachusetts? That's crazy. But that's not all. Thanks, Olivia, for that. But I have too much to get to that I can't watch that one right now. But if you guys want to follow this story of the crazy chef, anybody know any chefs? They're very temperamental. Chefs are very temperamental and kind of like crazy. Kind of crazy. You have to be to want to work in a kitchen for that much of your life. Kitchens are a crazy place to work. Anybody who ever has worked in a restaurant or a high-end restaurant knows that. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. I'm not like dissing anybody who happens to be a chef, but if you know a chef, you know how temperamental they can be. Let me get back to something here. Okay. Another crazy story that somebody just sent me a little while ago is this. Okay, where did it go? I just had it up. Hold on. Hold, please. Here it is. Because we just can't get out of Massachusetts. A Suffolk County Sheriff deputy has been arrested for human trafficking and child rape in several Massachusetts towns. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Anybody see this yet? Because this just broke today at 8 p.m. apparently, or maybe 6:41 p.m. A little bit before I went on the air. So let's pull this up, and there's also a little bit of video. Not too much. Wish we could get out of Massachusetts. Here we go. Suffolk County Sheriff's Department officer is accused of human trafficking and child rape. An officer with the Suffolk County Sheriff's Department has been arrested and charged with numerous human trafficking and child rape violations across several Massachusetts towns, officials announced on Saturday. That's today. The Hanson Police Department became involved in an active investigation last week for numerous alleged essays and the creation of child essay material, CSAM, of a 15-year-old boy that happened in Hanson, Halifax, and Middleborough, according to the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office. As a result of the investigation, Hanson police sought and obtained an arrest warrant for Richard, some name that I won't be able to pronounce, Kielczweski. We'll watch the video. Maybe they'll pronounce it for us. 41 of Hanson. He was taken into custody by Hanson police and Middleborough police late Friday. This guy, I'm just going to call him Richard for now. How about Dick? We'll call him Dick, is charged in Middleborough with one count of witness intimidation and enticing a child under 16. Oh, look, somebody else is being charged with witness intimidation in connection with child essay. In Hanson, Dick is charged with 3 counts of pay for sexual conduct with a child under 18, 2 counts of rape of a child aggravated by a 10-year age difference, and 1 count each of rape of a child with force, posing or exhibiting a child in an act. YouTube is going to hate this content. 1 count of trafficking persons under 18 for sexual servitude. The charges against the Officer Dick, are extremely serious and deeply disturbing. The department has taken the swift and decisive action to indefinitely suspend Officer K, the department said in a statement. Dick was hired as a correction officer with the department on July 6 of 2015. He was awarded the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal from the U.S. Marine Corps Toys for Tots program for his work in the greater Boston area during the 2024 holiday season. According to the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office, of course he was, Toys for Tots. He's being held on $250,000 bail and is scheduled to be arraigned Monday in Plymouth District Court. Okay, I guess we're going to have to put that on the calendar for Plymouth. But Plymouth District Court probably doesn't have Zoom. Oh, the irony. An officer with the Suffolk County Sheriff's Department has been arrested and charged with numerous human trafficking and child rape violations across several Massachusetts towns. The Hanson PD became involved in an active investigation last week for numerous alleged essays and the creation. I just read. Why is it repeated again? All right, why do they do that to me? Stop doing that to me. Let's catch a little bit of the video. Maybe we can figure out how to pronounce this guy's name as if we care. Here we go. Welcome to Massachusetts. This is like hot off the press from today.
And Jennifer, Hansen is also one of the towns that that man is accused of abusing the child in. 41-year-old Richard Kelchevsky is facing 7 charges for allegedly sexually assaulting and creating child sexual abuse material. The Plymouth County District Attorney says last Friday, the Hansen Police Department became aware of a 15-year-old boy that was abused by Kelchevsky. The DA says that abuse happened in Hansen, Halifax, and Middleborough. The DA says Kelchevsky was taken into custody by Hansen and Middleborough police on Friday. The Suffolk County Sheriff's Department confirming Kelchevsky was hired as a correction officer in July of 2015. The department saying in a statement, the charges against Officer Kelchevsky are extremely serious and deeply disturbing. The department has taken the swift and decisive action to indefinitely suspend Officer Kelchevsky. Kelchevsky is being held on $250,000 bail. He will be arraigned on Monday. We're live in Hansen. Danae Bucci, WCVB News Center 5.
If he makes it that long, he'll be arraigned on Monday. Oh, good. This popped up, so I don't have to go look for it. Here, a Massachusetts couple was arraigned after a second grader reportedly brought a gun to school. This was from 3 days ago. He looks gross. Kelchevsky.
We begin tonight with a...
Again, here we go. Massachusetts.
Swansea couple in court accused of mistakes that allowed their son to get access to a gun. That child, a second grader, allegedly brought the gun to school. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Wade.
And I'm Courtney Cole. Lisa is off tonight. The court paperwork reveals new information about what police ran into when they tried to track down answers. WBC's Aaron Farsijan joins us now from outside that school. Aaron?
Yeah, Courtney and David, it's April break and quiet today around this Swansea elementary school, but it was earlier this month when police believe a second grade student brought a gun here, showed it to a couple classmates, and that's what led to the charges facing parents today.
Any comment?
Any comment?
No
comment right now.
How did the child get into the gun?
Christopher and Heather Spangler were quiet leaving Fall River District Court after being arraigned on a series of gun and reckless child endangerment charges Wednesday.
Okay, this was in Swansea. I'm so sorry, Pokey. I forgot to throw up the peace sign for the end of the spoiler. Sorry. There's people that are still not on mute. Thank you. I don't know anything about a DoorDash girl. Thank you for being here for 4 months, Suzette. When you guys send me emails, I do read them all. I can't respond to them all. And you're like, I would love it if you would cover this case of this guy who did this thing. It's like, I can't, there's no way for me to even look for that without like the name of the person, like a location, a state, a county, a victim, like something. I need something to Google. Like there's a guy who did a thing somewhere, and it's like, could you please look into that? This, I don't know anything about DoorDash girl. I'm not picking on you at all, Suzette, but I had like 4 emails like that today that were just so vague. I was like, I can't even no, I can't do the work too. Help me, help you, help me, help you. Thank you. First of all, it says the Unraveled Pod does a good deep dive on all this. Thank you. I haven't seen it. I haven't watched it. And Lavina Split Cupcake says, I would love you to dive into the case of Kendrick Lamar Johnson. His family just filed a civil suit against judges, court, and others. It's a Georgia case. I feel like I have so much on my plate right now that I will take a look at it. If it piques my interest, then I can fit it in. I will. I can't promise you. But thank you for your 5. DoorDash girl is so crazy. I didn't even, where is it? Give me a location. Give me a state. Give me some information. Thanks, Venus Blue Cupcake, for your 5. All right, let's get back to these two in Swansea, whose second grader took a gun to school.
Day.
He got guilty possession on your behalf.
The Swansea couple is accused of having several unregistered and unsecured guns in their home and in reach of children.
You're being released on your personal recognizance with the condition that you surrender any firearms.
Swansea police detectives first received an anonymous tip April 6th that 2 second-grade students at Hoyle Elementary told their parents another student brought a gun to school in their backpack and showed them. Going on to say the information was reported to school and the school has spoken to parents, but they were concerned police weren't notified immediately.
I think there was a complete breakdown in the communication. There's no reason for it.
Police records reveal the student and the Spanglers both denied it ever happened. Chris reportedly telling police he and his wife were not licensed. Therefore,
Why does the name Spangler sound familiar? I don't know. It was just me.
Didn't have any firearms. Detective
There's no reason for it.
Police records reveal the student and the Spanglers both denied it ever happened. Chris reportedly telling police he and his wife were not licensed. Therefore, he didn't have any firearms. Detectives conducted a search warrant at the family's home where they say they recovered 5 guns and ammunition. All were unsecure with no locking mechanisms, including a Beretta pistol they say matched the description of the one the student saw in the backpack. On Wednesday, the couple's attorney also not commenting on charges outside the courthouse.
Oh, not a pending case, so.
The Spanglers were released on their own personal recognizance. They're due back in court in June. School leaders here acknowledge they should have notified police immediately, and the district says they're conducting a full review of their response to the situation. Live in Swansea, Aaron Parsegian, WBZ News.
So there's that. What is going on? Do you guys want to watch the Lindsay Clancy hearing? Because Kevin Reddington wants Proctor's text messages for Lindsay Clancy too, and the hearing is kind of short. It's only like a half an hour long, so we'll take a quick poll. Do you want to watch it? That was on Thursday. That was the same day that we wound up covering Karen Reed instead, because we didn't know Karen Reed was on, and I bumped Lindsay Clancy for Karen Reed, and I'm kind of glad I did, because the Karen Reed hearing was fire, because Rosemary Scapiccio told us everything. That Proctor texted Sergeant Good, "Today's kill an N-word in Canton Day. Get there." And then said to Judge Doolin, "Why are we protecting him? Who are we protecting? Why are we protecting Proctor?" And I think we're all asking the same question. All right, here's the hearing. This is from Thursday. And this is Lindsay Clancy. We're pivoting. Here it is. And this, I think this is in Plymouth, right? Yeah, it was in Plymouth. And this was the hearing. She was supposed to go for the forensic psychological exam April 10th through 12th. And this is the hearing that happened Thursday afternoon. And they actually, Channel 10 had a camera in the courtroom. Here we go. Lindsay Clancy was on Zoom for this. Kevin Reddington is her attorney.
Your Honor, the next matter we have before the court is Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy.
I'm going to unboost it because I think the video, I think it's okay, but it distorts it when I boost it.
Ms. Clancy is present by way of Zoom. She is represented by Attorney Kevin Reddington. Commonwealth is represented by Assistant District Attorney Jennifer Sprague and Assistant District Attorney Shannon Buckner.
Good afternoon, Counsel. Good afternoon, Ms. Clancy. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor.
All right, great. All right, so we've got a number of matters that are on. So I thought the best way to deal with this, number one, I want to kind of find out how the evaluation was scheduled a week or two ago. Kind of see how that went. And I know there was some discovery motions that were filed by the defendant. I know there were some Rule 17 motions that were filed by the Commonwealth. And then maybe if we had a couple minutes, we talked about a little bit about the procedures. You know, there was some suggested voir dire questions. I know it's early, but it's never too early to start talking about jury selection. So, so I guess first off, any issues arising out of the Commonwealth's evaluation of Ms. Clancy a couple of weeks ago?
No, Your Honor, 2 of our doctors evaluated Ms. Clancy over a 3-day period. The 3rd doctor that we have retained is going to do a Zoom interview with Ms. Clancy, and we made sure that his doing that separate interview wouldn't impact the timing of his report or delay the trial in any way, and he assured us it wouldn't. So we're getting some dates from him to coordinate with defense counsel to get that done. But I think we're on track in terms of the evaluations and when we'll have reports.
All right. Mr. Reddick, any issues that you saw come up during those evaluations?
No, they went very smoothly. Thank you.
All right. So that then kind of begs the next question in regards to those reports. Do you have a time estimate that the 3 of you talked about?
But I believe what we had talked about in court before was end of May, beginning of June.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have to stop the class so that people can you stop bickering over gun rights? We're not here to talk about gun rights. We're here to talk about the story that we just played. And now we're talking about Lindsay Clancy. Behave. You don't have to be mean to each other. This is not the place for that. If you want to go be mean to people, there are plenty of other channels you can go to. It's enough.
Estimate that the 3 of you talked about?
But I believe what we had talked about in court before was end of May, beginning of June.
Okay.
Don't make me pull this chat over. Thanks, Amy. I will pull this chat over.
So that first issue seems to be resolved or on its way to being resolved regarding the evaluations. Now about the discovery motions. The parties ready to argue those?
Yes.
All right. And so I've got, I think there were 2. I don't know, were there any more than?
I think there were 2.
All right, so that was coming from out of county, so they were clerk's office was good enough to forward those 2. I just wanted to make sure I had those. So I have the first one we can take up maybe it's called the motion for discovery regarding communications. Mr. Reddick, I'll hear you and then I'll hear a call.
Your Honor, I'm cognizant of the case that came.
See, I was distracted, 20th Century Fox. What did Kevin do? That was so smooth. All right, we're going to have to rewind it now. What part did he do that was so smooth?
On track in terms of the evaluations and when we'll have reports.
All right. Mr. Reddick, any issues that you saw come up during those evaluations?
No, they went very smoothly. Thank you.
All right.
Very smoothly.
So that then kind of begs the next question in regards to those reports. Do you have a time estimate that the 3 of you talked about?
But I believe what we had talked about in court before was end of May, beginning of June.
Okay. All right. So that first issue seems to be resolved or on its way to being resolved regarding the evaluations. Now about the discovery motions.
So it seems that she's being evaluated by 3 psychiatrists. Somebody said the first 2 agreed with the defendant, so they had to get a 3rd. I just want to tell you that if you start even mentioning the word GUN in the chat, that YouTube strikes the video. There are several creators lately who have gotten taken down because somebody in a courtroom picked up a firearm and started waving it around. So do me a favor, and if you did write that word in the chat, go back and delete your comment so that we don't get penalized for that. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all.
The parties ready to argue those?
Yes.
All right. And so I've got, I think there were 2. I don't know, were there any more than?
I think there were 2.
All right, so that was coming from out of county, so they were clerk's office was good enough to forward those 2. I just wanted to make sure I had those. So I have the first one we can take up maybe it's called the motion for discovery regarding communications. Mr. Reddick, I'll hear you and then I'll hear a call.
Your Honor, I'm cognizant of the case that came out. It actually came out of this county. I believe it's Cromwell versus Caldwell. It's a great case where the gentleman was in jail for almost a decade, and there had been a number of post-conviction hearings before various judges denied as far as the defendant's request. But then ultimately, on a Rule 30, it became apparent that there had been exculpatory statements made that were known to the prosecution. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that I have any information that either one of these prosecutors, who I know very well and I would never suspect would not do anything other than provide me with what I should have. But in the Caldwell case, the Supreme Judicial Court noted that defense counsel has an obligation, and this is before they changed Rule 14 and updated Rule 14, but I still don't think that the updated Rule 14 trumps, if you will, the Caldwell dicta, where the court noted that the defense attorney did not make a specific request for any and all communication between the prosecution team, if you will, including the prosecutor, the DA, police that we all consider to be part of the team, but also victim witness advocates. And in that case, I think it was a victim witness advocate that had a memorandum where there was an exculpatory statement made by, is my memory, the alleged victim. So the SJC did allow that motion and did grant the person a new trial based on that. So based on the Caldwell case, I'm just asking that the court enter an order for us to get access to all communications from any of the prosecution team with witnesses, including the physicians that have been doing the government's evaluation of Ms. Clancy. And that would include emails, texts, obviously written materials, notes, memoranda, coterminous with discussions that might refresh someone's recollection. I am cognizant. I filed this motion on a murder case up in Newburyport a number of years back, interestingly enough, where the issue of ballistics was in play, and it ultimately resulted in the production of an email from the prosecutor to the ballistician saying, please, 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 I have to have you hook up this bullet or I have no case. So needless to say, that resulted in the defendant able to raise that issue with the court. So I'm asking that the court would enter that order. And finally, I'm asking that if it relates to text messages, and I hate to even mention the case, but the Karen Reed case where that detective.
Yep, here it is. Oh, is he going to pretend he doesn't know Proctor's name? Hold on a second. That detective, what's his name? That guy. Hold on. Kevin Reddington knows who Proctor is. This is funny. Hold on. Sounds like they're not turning stuff over that they're supposed to be.
But the Karen Reed case in that order. And finally, I'm asking that if it relates to text messages, and I hate to even mention the case, but the Karen Reed case where that detective, his personal cell phone was utilized, not his business cell phone. So I would ask that the court would enter an order that personal or business related cell phones, computers, tablets would cover under that order.
Your Honor, I would object to this motion.
I don't know that he's specifically asking for Proctor's messages, though. Okay, the headline that I read, I think, like whatever local station got it all wrong. He's looking for messages between the prosecution team and I'm going to have to rewind this because I think the headline I read totally got it wrong about what he's looking for. He's just saying that in the Karen Reed case, they were entitled to his personal devices because he was using them to do business. So let me just hear this again. He's like, I don't have any information that one of these prosecutors would have done anything wrong. But maybe they have some exculpatory. Hold on, let's hear this.
As far as the defendant's request, but then ultimately on a Rule 30, it became apparent that there had been exculpatory statements made that were known to the prosecution. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that I have any information that either one of these prosecutors, who I know very well and I would never suspect would not do anything other than provide me with what I should have. But in the Caldwell case, the Supreme Judicial Court noted that defense counsel has an obligation, and this is before they changed Rule 14 and updated Rule 14, but I still don't think that the updated Rule 14 trumps, if you will, the Caldwell dicta, where the court noted that the defense attorney did not make a specific request for any and all communication between the prosecution team, if you will, including the prosecutor, the DA, police that we all consider to be part of the team, but also victim witness advocates. And in that case, I think it was a victim witness advocate that had a memorandum where there was an exculpatory statement made by.
Proctor didn't have anything to do with Lindsay Clancy. Is Duxbury in Plymouth? Because this is in Plymouth right now. I think what he's saying is we all know what happened with Michael Proctor in the Karen Reed case. And just because they use a personal device does not give them the out for having to provide it. Okay. See, he's not asking for Proctor's text messages. How did the news get this so wrong? Proctor was not involved in this. Okay.
Is my memory, the alleged victim. So the SJC did allow that motion and did grant the person a new trial based on that. So based on the Caldwell case, I'm just asking that the court enter an order for us to get access to all communications from any of the prosecution team with witnesses, including the physicians that have been doing the government's evaluation of Ms. Clancy. And that would include emails, texts, obviously written materials, notes, memoranda, coterminous with discussions that might refresh someone's recollection. I am cognizant. I filed this motion on a murder case up in Newburyport a number of years back.
He's looking for any communications between anybody on the prosecution team with any witnesses, including the doctors that did the evaluations. Make mine in Minnie says he's talking about Steve Nelson. Is Steve Nelson a victim witness advocate in Plymouth also? Because I know he's in Norfolk. I don't know if he's in Plymouth. So sometimes I hate to highlight things if they're not correct. What if anything says, did you really ask how Boston Media got something so wrong? Okay, here we go.
Interestingly enough, where the issue of ballistics was in play, and it ultimately resulted in the production of an email from the prosecutor to the ballistician saying, please, 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 I have to have you hook up this bullet or I have no case. So needless to say, that resulted in a defendant able to raise that issue with the court. So I'm asking that the court would enter that order. And finally, I'm asking that if it relates to text messages, and I hate to even mention the case, but the Karen Reed case where that detective, his personal cell phone was utilized, not his business cell phone. So I would ask that the court would enter an order that personal or business related cell phones, computers, tablets would cover under that order.
Your Honor, I would object to this motion. We are well aware of our obligations to turn over any exculpatory information, and if there was any in this case, I would certainly turn it over, but I haven't found any. So I will honor that obligation going forward. Despite the changes to Rule 14, work product is still a thing, and all of what defense counsel has mentioned is work product, unless or until there is some exculpatory information or a statement by a witness that we would, of course, turn over. As far as personal phones, I don't use my personal phone for work purposes.
That doesn't mean nothing.
So I would object to anyone having access to my personal phone. But
Look at Reddington. He's just tapping his fingers on the podium, waiting for his turn. Waiting for his turn. Why does he hate to mention the Karen Reed case? Oh, you know, Olivia, because it's the thorn in the side of every single judge, attorney, county, courtroom, because of all the corruption. She's like, I don't use my personal phone. Okay, well, you know, most of your state troopers do.
in general, I would just object to this. There's no foundation, no basis, no information that any exculpatory information has been withheld, unlike cases post-conviction where there is evidence that is brought forth and then motions are allowed for this type of discovery. But
yeah, let's wait until someone's convicted before we turn over the exculpatory evidence. What? Did you seriously, in good faith, just make that argument? Yeah, I don't really need to, give anybody my personal phone. Because, I mean, if she's convicted and then it turns out there's some out there that was exculpatory, then we'll talk about it then. If I had it, I would give it to you. Trust me, bro.
Basis, no information that any exculpatory information has been withheld, unlike cases post-conviction where there is evidence that is brought forth and then motions are allowed for this type of discovery. But that is not the case here, and it will not be the case here because we will honor our obligations under Rule 14 and our ethical obligations.
So, Mr. Ray, you're looking for evidence kind of beyond Rule 14 is kind of a Rule 14 plus?
Yes. Communications, for example, if there would be text messaging between, and I use the example of a particular victim witness advocate and a doctor, or the doctor communicates with someone from the...
So they're looking for the victim witness advocate, but in this case, I don't think it was Steve Nelson. Jenna Leah says, yeah, fight it in appeal, like the Brian Walsh case. Right, we'll just let everything in, and then clearly fruit of the poisonous tree. But you know what? Just fight it. Fight it on appeal. Post-conviction only takes 2 decades. Allie knows.
DA staff regarding an issue that arose during the course of the alleged independent evaluation. Anything like that I'm looking for. And that would be, as I said, based on Mr. Proctor, former Detective Proctor, I think personal devices would have to be included. And I'm not trying to be invasive to anybody's privacy by any means.
Oh, actually, he does want Proctor's phone. Well, that's not what he said before. Hang on a second. Hold on. Text messaging, communications, for example, maybe they didn't get it wrong. Maybe I got it wrong, thinking that they got it wrong because now he is going to say, I want Proctor's phone. Hold on.
If there would be text messaging between, and I use the example of a particular victim witness advocate and a doctor, or the doctor communicates with someone from the DA staff regarding an issue that arose during the course of the alleged independent evaluation. Anything like that I'm looking for. And that would be, as I said, based on Mr. Proctor, former Detective Proctor, I think personal devices would have to be included. And I'm not trying to be invasive to anybody's privacy by any means, but.
Okay, he's saying based on Proctor. Based on Proctor, but he's not asking. He's saying based on Proctor's phone, the personal stuff, the personal phones should be turned over, right? That's the way I'm interpreting it. He's reaching for all the detectives' phones in Plymouth County using Proctor as an example, right? And did you see like the little over the shoulder look that he just gave when he said, look at this right here, based on Mr. Proctor. And then he looks back at the camera. He's like, Proctor. Look at this. Based on what happened to Proctor, they should have to include their personal phones, right? Because we learned from some of the IA of Tully audio that we listened to that, they have the option to get a work issued phone, or they can use their personal phone, whatever they want to do. I think in Proctor's case, he did both. There we go.
I'm looking for, and that would be, as I said, based on Mr. Proctor, former Detective Proctor, I think personal devices would have to be included. And I'm not trying to be invasive to anybody's privacy by any means, but that is an issue that was brought to the fore significantly during that trial, so I do include that request.
And I think that became an issue when evidence of such matter became known, and then that opened the door to that type of discovery, which is not the situation here.
I'm going to take that under advisement because I've got to go back and review Rule 14. As part of the prosecution team. And Rule 14, I think, specifically mentions victim witness advocates now. But I also then have to review the work product kind of statement. I'm going to take a look at Caldwell So I can take that under advisement.
Okay.
Let me see. All right, the next motion is for discovery regarding government's medical witnesses.
They've corrected their headlines to say that Reddington cites the issue of Proctor's phone as an excuse to try and get personal communications between prosecution and witnesses in the Clancy case. They've corrected it.
Could I just say, I apologize. You're on the site for Caldwell. It's Conwell versus Clifton Caldwell. It's 487 Mass 370.
So, thank you. All right. So take a look at that, especially in light of Caldwell. And then regarding pleading number 74, which is the motion for discovery regarding government's medical witnesses. So, Mr. Regularly on that?
Your Honor, on that motion, I'm asking that the court would entertain a request that we be advised of the cases that the government's chosen doctors have been involved in a criminal case, certainly not during their entire practice, when they are engaged as an expert either for the government or the defense, requesting information as to the percentage, if you will, of their practice how much percentage of their practice would be for the prosecution, how much for the defense, and then obviously the name of the cases or docket number and references in the event there was testimony, not so much a plea. I'm not looking for, the government to provide me with their reports on these cases. I'm looking for the name of the case, the court location, the docket number, and whether or not they testified for the government or the defense. I'm also looking for, I think there was some other requests. I don't have the motion in front of me.
Yeah, it was the fourth paragraph was directing the physician to produce and make available to the defense notes, records, memoranda.
Yes.
So I think that was in addition to
refresh my memory, Your Honor. So obviously, and I don't know, maybe there are none because of the fact in this case, as you know, we filed a motion to have the interviews recorded, which they were recorded. So I don't know if that obviated the necessity of anybody taking notes. A lot of times the doctors will say that interferes with the relationship between the patient or the defendant and the doctor who's doing the evaluation. So those are the requests that I have in that regard.
So
I specifically did not ask for the amount of money that they have made, and the reason is that I personally feel in the cases I've tried, I can literally tell you, never have I ever asked a doctor, expert, anyone, how much money did you make in this case? And I always say, in the event the government asks the question, I always say, look, everybody's getting paid to be here. I'm getting paid, the judge is getting paid, jurors not much, but they're getting paid. So it doesn't really matter what the funds are that they receive. I don't really care how much money they made. I don't think that's going to color someone's testimony at all.
That is very common, though. In the case of expert witnesses, typically the other side is required to provide the other side. And prosecution is required to supply the defense with a list of all the cases that the expert has testified in. It's always done in New York. I don't know if that is something that is not commonly done in Massachusetts, and that's why he has to kind of fight for it. But so many times you can find transcripts from expert witnesses and the way they've testified in prior cases, and you can use them to impeach them in your case. And so it's interesting that they're fighting him on it, maybe, or just he just is asking for it because they haven't provided it. I'm not sure.
I guess what I'm interested to hear the argument because it's above and beyond the CV that's supposed to be or by
I guess
by
it's
rules
not
been I imagine it's been turned over. It's going to be turned over. But then they ask them to go into their records and go back and dig through all that.
Well, it's not so much a matter of digging through all that as much as like when you get the CV and the CV says the following are cases that I testified in, and they name the cases, but you don't have a docket or you don't have a specific. I can't go hunting through the internet to find what case they're talking about. So I look for a docket number or location of whatever court it may be, Pinellas County, California, or something like that, and a docket number. And then I could try to see if there would be any records or documents indicating that what their testimony was. They don't give you that generally on a CV.
Rule 14 only requires the curriculum vitae as well as any publications that they've authored. We've turned over the CVs for the 2 doctors who have already done the analysis, and we'll be turning over the 3rd doctor's information tomorrow, and those contain the publications they've authored. This is all above and beyond what's required by the rule. There's nothing in the rule or in the case law that requires us to go on a search for this information. If defense wants to use it in their cross-examination, then they have to go and find it. We're not required to help them with their cross-examination unless there's something exculpatory, and we find that, we will of course turn it over. I don't think Rule 14 requires me to do math either, so asking for the overall percentages of cases. And if anything is allowed, I'd ask for the same reciprocal discovery from defense counsel on his witnesses, but in the Commonwealth.
Yeah, I don't think Rule 14 requires me to do math either. I don't know. Somebody said earlier we might be looking at another evil stepsisters trial, and I don't know. You might be right. Yeah, of course, if we find something exculpatory, we're going to get it to you, but I don't think Rule 14 requires me to do math.
We will, of course, turn it over. I don't think Rule 14 requires me to do math either, so asking for the overall percentages of cases. And if anything is allowed, I'd ask for the same reciprocal discovery from defense counsel on his witnesses. But in the Commonwealth's position, this is all well beyond the scope of Rule 14.
So I can assure you that I know every article that these guys have written, and I've already gone all the way back to the high school. I really don't need the government to help me with cross-examination, but I don't think it's an unreasonable request to say that when they put on their resume or their CV what cases that they've been involved in, to know whether they're testifying for the government or the defense, and some docket number. It's not requiring a lot of work to find a docket number or a court that it's in.
Defense counsel can do that same work.
I don't. It's kind of hard for me to make this determination without seeing the CVs. Do you know what I mean? It may be, if I see them, it may be not a big ask to fill in these gaps, or it may be a huge thing to ask. I mean, if somebody's been an expert for 25 years and there's nothing on the CV about the specific cases, that's a big ask for somebody to go back through 25 years of your career and reconstruct what cases there were.
They should all be available on the CV. They keep a running list of everything they testify in. This is what experts do. They do it for a living.
So that's just one comment I had when I was reading through that. The other thing is, I guess, I'd be interested to hear from both parties. Everybody, and I always ask that question, what percentage of the time that you've testified were you on behalf of the government or the defense? That's very common. I mean, I asked that question many times. And is it, I imagine, is it a big ask to kind of ask that question in advance from both sides that everybody would know? I don't know. If you feel it is a bridge too far in a sense, let me know. But I'm just thinking, we've all heard that question, and if everybody knows what the answer is going to be now, is there a problem? Because then if somebody says it's 10%, well then the other side may want to do their own chasing after it, or not. They may be satisfied with it. I don't know.
I think it's beyond the scope of Rule 14. I think it is a significant ask, because we then have to go to the experts and ask them to review every case they've ever worked on and determine which side they were on, and then do the calculations to determine the percentage. And really, it's not the quantity that's important, it's the quality of the work. And I think that can be examined in the cross-examination without knowing an exact percentage.
But don't you think you're both going to, I shouldn't say this, it would not be a surprise to me if that question was asked by both sides.
It's asked every trial.
Anybody
It's
who
asked.
testified here.
What percentage of your work is done for the plaintiff or plaintiffs? What percentage of your work is done for defendants? How much did you make last year from your expert testimony? It's commonly asked in every single trial of every single witness. This is not rocket science. This is not something new. This trial is supposed to happen on July 20th.
I think there's two separate issues here. I mean, there are plenty of
And here's Lindsay. Here's Lindsay on the Zoom. I don't know, my heart breaks for her, but she's living hell every single day. She wants to take her own life. Reddington has said that several times. This whole case is tragic. There's nothing. This is a horrible, 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 horrible case.
questions that might be asked of a witness, but it doesn't mean the Commonwealth has an obligation under Rule 14 to seek out that information and provide it.
I was just asking. I just kind of wanted to know what the Commonwealth's position was in regards to that. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take no action on this at this point, because what I want to do is maybe see the CVs, and so I would then know what information both sides. Because if I'm going to do one, it certainly would be reciprocal in regards to these requests. But I'm not saying I would. I just kind of need a little bit more information as to what the CVs have presented.
So I'll get the CVs from my side and present them to Dawn, and she can then.
Yeah.
And I can do the same.
All right, and I'll take a look at them, then I'll make a decision on this regarding that. All right. All right, so I'll take that matter under advisement as well. Now, the next series of issues, I think, is in regards to the Rule 17s.
Yes, and I believe Defense Counsel is not objecting to those.
All right, so it's a request for Mass General records. And then there was one, I just kind of wanted to make sure I had it.
Right, there's one for employment records from Mass General. There's one for educational records from Mass General Hospital Institute of Health Professionals. And then there's one for educational records from Quinnipiac University.
Lindsay Clancy was a nurse. She was over-medicated, and she is suing her medical providers for medical malpractice for what they did to her. And her husband is also suing on behalf of the children, wrongful death against her medical providers, including McLean Hospital, which is supposed to be like the top place for inpatient postpartum psychosis treatment. We went over the civil suits in a prior Lindsay Clancy stream. If you're interested in catching up on this case, there is an entire Lindsay Clancy playlist in my playlist section on the I don't know what they call it, homepage, landing page.
And accompanying that should be a certificate for out-of-state securing of those records.
So the MGH Institute is an educational, just kind of continuing education in the sense if you're working in Mass General, something
Yes,
like that?
they offer a bachelor's and master's program in nursing.
All right, so I'm going to allow those.
Yeah, I have no objection to that. I know they already obtained a number of documents and records from her employment where they were peer review ratings and things, and she always aces everything, so I have no objection on that.
Do we need a return date in regards to those records?
Yes, and specifically for the out-of-state records, because there are spaces on those documents for a return date. We could do a 60-day date.
So we've got a June date anyway, don't we?
Right.
Already?
Yes. We have June 18th.
Yeah, June 18th, Thursday.
Want to put that same date?
That'd be great, thank you.
That way, if there's issues, we might as well deal with them. If they're not, then we know we can just kind of check that box. All right. So we'll allow those with a return date of June 18th. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Next issue, there was a request for release of the juror list early. I allowed that, so I figured it'd come in here. So, so the parties have those.
Yes.
Thank you. Then just maybe a little discussion regarding the impalement procedure. I know that there was filed a suggested questionnaire along with a number of questions. We're not going to go through. I mean, I think it's early, but it's like I said before, it's never too early.
Well, it's never too early, and I just figured that so council has it, you have it. Yeah. You can add, delete, deny, allow.
No, I think that's what I'm saying. I think that's helpful. In the Commonwealth, the same thing as we go through it. But generally, try a case with everybody here. So, generally what we do is I'd ask general questions. A lot of the questions are here. I'll ask generally, and then we'll just do an individual sidebar, kind of as we go through it. And then, as we've done before, I'd ask you to exercise your challenge at that point rather than the old days, fill the box. And then, and so there's some questions in regards to the procedures, but so that's generally the way we do it. If we do a questionnaire, my hope would be to keep it to 1 page. I just think that it's easier for the jurors as well, but we'd still have individual voir dire no matter what.
So can I just question, when we do the individual voir dire, what's your practice? I forget in many cases with you, but do you have the jury in the witness box and counsel stays at the table, or do you go up to the sidebar literally?
I generally go over to the sidebar.
So my request, if you would consider it, is that we use the witness box with the jury for a couple of reasons. I know there are many judges that do that, and not to mention the fact that it's a lot easier on the legs than standing there for hours on end at the sidebar. But my client, as you know, is in a wheelchair, so it would be kind of difficult where I always ask that the client be with me at the sidebar when we have that questioning of the jurors. So I just ask in this case that you would consider doing it through the witness box, just because it's going to be difficult.
Right.
She's paraplegic, for those of you who don't know. After she took the lives of her 3 young children, allegedly, with exercise bands, she jumped out of a second-floor window and survived. She did not intend to survive, but she did. I got to sneeze. That robot in the corner started playing a sound effect of somebody jumping out of a second-story window with glass. I don't know what the hell that was about. Thanks, Martina, for tuning in from New Zealand. Says, I wish when Lindsay had gotten the help she so desperately needed. Her soul has gone, and she's a shell of her former self. My heart breaks so much for her. Thank you. Yeah, this trial, they're talking about jury selection. This trial is supposed to start July 20th. And there was a lot of discussion on how they were going to be able to bring her to court and transport her there and the kind of care that she was going to need.
I was thinking of that. One of the other possibilities is to use the
headset.
What's it called? The whisper. Like the headset.
If that's your order, that's your order. But
no, I haven't gotten it. I haven't really done it. I'm trying to bounce off the different ideas. That's one thought. One of the reasons why I'm not necessarily a big fan of the witness box in a case like this, there's a lot of really personal questions that are going to be asked in not just this case, in a lot of cases. And that's why I generally would do that.
Yeah, but there would be nobody else in there, I mean, as far as
we can't close the courtroom.
So
right, I mean, you look at is Cohen versus Cohen, which Cohen won, as I'm familiar with. But that's one thought. We can talk about. This is probably a better specific topic when we come back in June. But I just kind of wanted to get that out there, have people thinking about it. How are we going to do this? I'm not wed to that. I mean, this is a unique, each case has its unique characteristics. And this may have that scenario where we have to do it in the jury box. I just haven't really kind of finalized.
I just know that I've had many cases in various counties where judges will do the individual voir dire from the jury box. It works out well. I've never had any issues that I can call in those cases. I know the court's got to balance the concerns, but I've done that whisper thing in federal court and state court. I don't like the whisper thing.
I never used.
The Commonwealth does not want Lindsay being wheeled up there in a wheelchair or a stretcher, or however they decide to bring her in, because the Commonwealth thinks the jury's going to feel sorry for her and go light on her. I'm telling you, that's exactly what it is. And she has every right to be at sidebar, despite her, new disability. Thank you so much, Jen, for buying 5 matcha lattes for me. I definitely need it. She says, love from Colorado. Go Buffs. Thanks, Jen.
I'm almost there because I don't like it. But sometimes it's as bad as it may be, it's better than the alternative, as they say.
Well, not from my client's point of view, my point of view. I understand you're balancing other people's interests.
No, I understand. Call off any thoughts.
I prefer to do it at sidebar. I agree with the court about the personal questions. I think we're more likely to have jurors who are comfortable and honest answering at sidebar. We also send them out of the room to do our challenges, so defense could use that opportunity to speak to the defendant. But I would defer to the court on it.
All right. I'm going to think about that. And then maybe we come back here in June, have a better kind of concrete answer. I'll have to kind of decide how we do it. But I kind of wanted to just gauge everybody's thoughts and interest in position. So,
well, the other alternative is we could ask the court officer to construct a platform put next to the bench, I suppose.
That's another possibility. So we'll keep all possibilities, but I mean generally we're either doing sidebar there, maybe with the whisper, but we'll weigh those out. All right, and then fine. So we've got the June 18th date, and then do we need one more date in May, do you think, to just kind of make sure everything's on track?
That makes sense.
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like things are going, I don't see any big bumps in the road here, but that's sometimes
My
when
concern is
we
it's
get.
going to be difficult. I have 2 back-to-back federal trials in May, and it's probably going to wipe out most of the month of May. So just let you know that up front, but we could go through some dates if you want.
Why don't you give us a date we can maybe work? It's more of a, I hate to use the word status, but that's kind of what it would be, to see if there's any issues that anybody sees that we need to address earlier rather than later when we come in.
About May 21st is a Thursday in the morning.
It's fine. Yes.
And if that becomes a problem from either side, just let us know. We can kind of release. And that's really just a check-in in regards to discovery, witnesses, and any other issues that we may have. But Leslie, could I see counsel at sidebar just briefly?
There's Lindsay. I hate that sleep machine.
All right, and then Commonwealth, anything further we need to address at this time?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Reddington, anything further? No, thank you. All right, so this case will be over until what was it, May 21st.
So for the record, this matter is continued to May 21st, 2026 at 2 p.m. for status, and we will have Ms. Clancy in by Zoom.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did. I can give it in federal court in the afternoon.
Do it in the morning.
Do you want to?
Yeah, we do.
No.
Let's see.
Whatever's good for you.
You want to say 9 to 5? Because I don't know what Judge Hogan's trial schedule, may have to sneak in
I see, okay.
there first, and then head out to where I'm going. And then, like I said, if we don't need that date, parties can just let us know.
Okay.
And the thought then on that June date, just so everybody, transportation and everybody else, the thought would be to have Ms. Clancy here in person on the June 18th date. Okay, all right.
So for the record, this matter is continued to May 21st, 2026 at 9 a.m. Ms. Clancy will appear on Zoom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Clancy.
All right, so I'm kind of plodding along towards trial here. Getting there. May 21st. I feel like we've been covering this for a long time. The weird thing about Massachusetts, well, one of the weird things about Massachusetts is that many of these judges, they're all appointed, not elected. Here in New York, we elect our judges. And when you run for judge, you run for civil court, or you run for criminal court, or you run for family court. These judges seem to move around. Sometimes they're trying a murder case, and sometimes they're trying a personal injury case. And to me, that's very strange. I'm not used to that. So I remember we had Judge Sullivan in a different case. I thought it was a civil case. And so they're not as familiar sometimes with criminal cases. It's weird. Tammy Lynn, Melanie, look up the recent case of David Oliver in Clay, New York. Mind-boggling. He lived on the same road as my daughter, and it was disturbing to all of us when the info came out. I cannot understand how they gave him bail. Tammy Lynn, I just did a quick search of David Oliver, Clay, New York, and nothing came up that it even resembles any type of case. So my email is underneath the show notes if you want to send me some more information so that I could look it up. I will, but I just did a quick search and I found nothing. Nothing came up. Project Got Waffle, thanks for gifting a membership. You're awesome. Sharon said, again, my sister dated Jimmy Burke in St. James. He had a room called the Jimmy Room, off limits. Thank you. I don't know what you mean by again. Did you say it? Did you say it earlier and I didn't see it? It's hard for me to watch the chat when I'm reading and looking at this. So I apologize if I didn't see it the first time. And then she says, my uncle trained Jimmy Burke to drive, basically because Spoda had Jimmy arranged for a job to just drive, basically. Okay. Thank you, Sharon, for tuning in. Tammy said, my mistake. His name is David Arnold Clay, New York. His name is David Arnold Clay, or he lives in Clay, New York. I don't know, Tammy, but I'll look for it later. Thank you. I can't do it. Emily says, not only did the news get this wrong, that was the only mention of Proctor that day. And they didn't cover the hearing. Oh, in any of the headline news? Oh, they didn't cover Karen Reed's hearing in the Miles King case with Proctor saying it's killing N-word day in Canton. Get there. Tammy, I was just joking. I hope you know that. I was just joking. I'll try it. I'll try another time. Kat, thank you so much for gifting a membership. One more thing. But wait, before we go. Oh my God, look at us after midnight. We're like diehards. We're like diehards over here. Because I did have this pulled up for you. There was one more thing that I wanted to show you, and that is this. Hold on. Where is it? Here it is. Here it is. If you would like to rent the David Murder House, it is for rent again. Here it is. 1368 Doheny Place in the Hollywood Hills. It's a beautiful neighborhood. For $23,950 a month, you too can live in the D4VD David Murder House. Look at these pictures. You know how I know it's the right house? Because look, here's the outside of the house, which we all know from all of the articles that we've looked at. See, there it is. It's a beautiful house in the Hollywood Hills. Let's go a little bit further back into I'll start from the beginning. And you can also notice, you can see the piano. All right, let's see. Here it is. Go. This is my corn. All right, stop. Wait, where are we? Go back. Go back. You can refresh. Hold on. I think I'm getting tired. Hold on, let's see. Do, 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 do. Come on, man. Why you got to give me such a hard time? Okay, here we go. From the top. 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's the first look at this beautiful outdoor space. You can see the piano through all of these French doors. It is lovely. This is photo 1. There's a little lap pool in the back, a hammock, beautiful dining room. Everything is bright white. You need your sunglasses when you walk into this house. Gorgeous. Can be yours for only almost $24,000 a month. You would just have to really want to live in a house where maybe somebody was murdered. R.I.P. Celeste Rivas, by the way. Look at this clawfoot bathtub. I heard David was only paying $20,000 a month. So not only is it a murder house now, but they've jacked up the price. Lovely backyard. This is in the Hollywood Hills. There's the piano, the famous piano. Lots of artwork. At least they got rid of the clutter before they take the pictures. Sometimes I look at Zillow and I'm like, could they at least have taken the clutter off the counter before they took pictures of the kitchen? It's embarrassing. Yeah, rest in peace. Celeste Rivas Hernandez was failed by everyone, says Allie in Texas. I agree. Wow, that's a bathroom, huh? Some crazy tile work in that bathroom. That's where the Tesla was parked for a while on the street. It was parked out there for like a month, kept moving around in the bird streets. Walk-in closet. Really? For a rental? $24,000 a month? Nice view. I love the Hollywood Hills. There's a gym. It's crazy. But yeah, it's for rent again. If anybody's interested, go to the listing. It's on Redfin. Crazy. All right. Any more thoughts, questions, comments, concerns before we wrap after midnight on Saturday? Who's going to watch the Bruins tomorrow at 2? Let's see. Wait, how many bedrooms and how many baths? Hold on. We didn't even say that. We didn't get the statistics. 4 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, 4,315 square feet, $23,950 a month. Set on a quiet tree-lined street, just moments from sunset. This thoughtfully designed residence offers a rare balance of privacy, elegance, and proximity to the heart of Los Angeles. The setting is peaceful and discreet, with convenient street parking, yet only minutes from world-class dining, shopping, and entertainment. The home reflects a refined classic European sensibility with a modern refined edge, featuring carefully curated finishes, warm brass accents, and a restrained material palette that feels timeless and enduring. Natural light moves easily throughout the interiors, highlighting the quality of the craftsmanship and the calm, cohesive design language. Living spaces transition effortlessly to a series of outdoor areas designed to echo the interiors in both tone and scale. Is anybody in here a California real estate broker? Tell me if it needs to be disclosed that it was a murder house, or do they have to ask? Like in Massachusetts, you have to ask. But also, I stumbled upon a video today on a girl's channel in which David was on camera on a live stream with a couple of people in his house, like making excuses for the horrible stench in the house. That apparently when he parked that Tesla in the garage, because, Celeste's body was in there, it obviously had a horrific smell, and he was making excuses for the smell. That's why I actually went to this originally, was to look to see what the positioning of the garage is. And I think when we look at the exterior shot of the house, There's no floor plan, so it's hard to see, but we look at the front of the house. Here's the garages. Looks like a 3-car garage, but it's unclear what room is right above the garage. The excuse was, oh, I just took a blank. Let's just say I just took a blank 2 hours ago. Sorry for the smell. I just used the bathroom and did that 2 hours ago. And then that guy, Neo, looks at him in a really odd way and is like, dude, shut the F up. Here's the garage doors right here. You can see them. They're green. Yep. It's crazy. It's disgusting. It's horrific. We're here for it. But I don't think they're going to let cameras in the courtroom. I read a blurb somewhere that the judge is not going to allow cameras in the David courtroom. Right? These were young kids, Scott, that he was with, and they didn't seem to question it. It looks like there's a Karen Reed civil status conference on the 31st, which is, oh my goodness, that's coming up soon. That would be Friday, I guess. I don't know what that's about, but usually we can't stream those anyway. But with regard to other things on the calendar this week, I will look into that DoorDash girl case that you asked me to look into. And Kelsey S. Court, is it going to be televised on the 28th? That's Tuesday, right? I have that in my calendar. I also have, well, there was supposed to be a hearing on Larry Millete, or Millete. I say Millete. That was supposed to be on Monday at noon about having cameras in the courtroom, but now it seems there may be a delay in that case, another delay. Does anybody know about that? Have you been following that? The disappearance of Maya Millete from like 2021. He's finally supposed to go to trial. But now he's asking for the DA's office to be disqualified because he says there's some corruption or something there. And I can't get the papers on that. If anybody's got the motion papers on that, I would like to see them. Again, my email is below in the show notes, fanbase@mlittlelaw.com. And then we have on Tuesday, the Caleb Flynn trial was supposed to start on Tuesday, but that has been pushed to next week. I have this in my hearing for Alex Castellano in Lowell, a district court hearing on Tuesday morning. Alex Castellano, refresh my recollection because now I forget who that guy was. He was a horrible guy who did some horrible things to a child, I think. Then Judge Ulrich Fitzsimmons custody motions hearing. They'll probably have a camera in there. I think. Do you think? Do you think? There is a hearing on Aaron Spencer, a pretrial hearing. I have in my calendar for Thursday. I don't know if that's going to be televised because we don't know if this new judge is going to allow the cameras in. And that's what I've got for this week. And then Tiger Woods gets arraigned next week. That was supposed to happen last week. So there's too many to remember. Thanks, you guys, for coming to hang out with me on Saturday night. I appreciate you so much. Please make sure when the stream is over, please like it. Please comment. It helps the algorithm. YouTube is trying to push you away from long form content and push you towards shorts and AI, and they are not sending you notifications anymore if you don't engage. So maybe, I don't know, turn off your notifications and then turn them back on and see if that works for you. I'm not sure. We'll see. But let's go Bruins tomorrow at 2 p.m. All right? I'll be there. I'll be square. We'll talk about it. I love you guys with all of my heart. If I don't see you soon, I'm going to die. But I'm going to see you tomorrow. Okay? I mean, not tomorrow. Probably no, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's hockey. I'll see you Monday. Okay? Let's figure Monday, depending on what these hearings, what time they start. The latest would be noon. Just keep an eye out. Okay? Stay cool, stay kind, stay classy. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. And thank you again so much for hanging out with me tonight. Thanks, moderators. I love you so much. Peace.